The cage
My
match.
wife.
Yeah, I just got
Each
a little
panelist will have one opportunity to call a cage match. When a cage match is called, the challenger and the challengee will have 5 minutes to talk, and only they will be allowed to speak. During this time, everything goes that is not TOS. Following the 5 minutes of the cage match, both the challenger and the challengee will be muted for 3 minutes, so that the other panelists can speak. The host also has the ability to initiate a cage match. The Stardust rule. Thank you very much, Stardust. If you decide to yell over other people the entire time, at 4 minutes you'll be muted and the other person will get the rebuttal. If this happens, the person who was yelled at will not be muted following the cage match. I am the Sproutacus. I will be hosting the American Octagon. When I speak, I'm stepping in as a moderator, not a debater. So please be quiet when you hear me speak. Are there any questions about the rules? No questions? Good, we'll go into the first topic. The first topic we're going to is the Supreme Court opinion was leaked by a whistleblower in the Supreme Court. Was this leak good or bad? And we are going to start with Lucid Fox. I'm sorry, Grimlow. We're going to start with Grimlow.
Yes.
Good meme.
Eesh.
Okay. So first topic is the Supreme Court leak.
Yes, that's what I said. Yeah.
Okay. Whistleblowers are good. Leaks are good. If it were up to me, every elected representative and the Supreme Court, even though they're unelected, would be walking around with 24/7 live stream body cams on them so that we know exactly what they're up to. If you are more concerned about the leak than you are about the contents of it, then it's kind of a self-report. And I'm a little more concerned that the leak, as far as the consequences of it, it's good that it happened because this would have gone unnoticed for weeks. And, it's good to know what's going on in the Supreme Court. But my issue with it is that now the Republican media sphere and Republican elected officials are going to want whatever happens with this, if it goes through, to be exactly as the leak entailed. Nothing watered down, nothing changed. So that is my concern. It's good that we know it's bad that the Supreme Court is up to this kind of shit, but no surprise.
Preacher, your opening statement.
Yeah, I don't think leaks are good. I honestly, I do agree with the whole 24-hour camera thing, though. It is good to know what our politicians are up to. I know both left and right waste our time and our tax dollars, and they should be held accountable for that. However, all things deserve their due process, and it's no different. It's actually very, very extremely important with the Supreme Court to have due process and all things in time. The leak, it's not a whistleblower. It's an activist. Whether it's an activist on the left or the right doesn't matter. A whistleblower is usually reporting on someone doing something wrong. This was a leak of information that might not even be accurate as far as we know. So it wasn't a whistleblower. It was an activist, and I think it's treading on thin ice when we can start to see leaks happening at that part of our government. We were going to get the information from what I was hearing that it was going to come out before they went on their summer hiatus. They might as well just come out with it now. Just stop all the BS back and forth and let us know what the official version is. But I don't think leaks are good either way. Not all leaks anyway. Sometimes whistleblower leaks, yes. Activist leaks, no.
That's your opening statement.
Yeah, so I guess I would respond to that and ask, what's the difference between a whistleblower and an activist? Are they not similar, if not the same thing? I would say that I don't know if the leak is good or bad. I would say that only time is going to tell whether the leak is good or bad. The leak itself, the reason why things like that are kept private is to protect the integrity of the court and not let issues get political, as ironic as that is. It's the same way that we expect patient-doctor confidentiality, things like that. So, yeah, only time will tell.
Big Tech, your opening statement.
The leak, the whistleblower, is it good or bad? You mean, is it good for someone to do that, or is it good that it happened? Not sure exactly what the nature of the question is, but I'll take a shot at both. I think that is it good that the person did it? We don't know their motives. We don't even know. We just know what the news told us. We literally just don't know. We don't know if it's really the person they said or who they worked for, who put them up to it.
Let's say, they're a good Samaritan type of person, just doing what they think is right. It's a breach of trust, right? If they have access to sensitive information they're not supposed to leak, then you're in a trusted position. So you're breaching trust. You're taking it upon yourself to usurp authority. I'm not a fan of that personally. I think that there should be a punishment for that, actually. Is it good that it happened? Well, the effect so far is that it's only just one more thing to destabilize our trust in government and our cohesion with each other. That seems to me to be the main thing that our enemy wants, is to decrease cohesion and increase tension between the left and the right, to demonize Christians and to antagonize leftists, so that they become angry and violent, and we have more like we had through the BLM summer and things like that. And there's nothing they want more than that. And it's a agenda to...
What the fuck was that?
I don't know what that was.
I have no idea. Continue.
How much time do I have left, by the way? Is this time?
I would hurry up.
I'll wrap it up.
All right.
So to me, I don't even know. I'm highly suspicious. I'll say that. I'm suspicious that there's... things like this can be choreographed. It can be choreographed. Or do we have judges who are just thinking to themselves, is it time to revisit Roe v. Wade? Is this just the right time? Let's just do it. No, we got all the right people together. Let's do it. Or is there a choreographed effort on high levels saying, hey, this is exactly the perfect, like the sweet little drop of dissension we can drop into the American culture. Let's get them all to fight about abortion now. I'm suspicious that that's the reason why we're seeing what we've seen. And so to me, it's not good.
Jason Society, your opening statement.
All right. So is the leak good or bad? I am kind of indifferent about it. I mean, I think the information was going to come out one way or the other. Whether it came out sooner than later is not, I don't think it's very consequential. I think the bottom line is that maybe somebody felt bringing some awareness to this sooner, so that some of the people in these states where there's the automatic triggering of banning abortions can get the hell out of those states if they don't want to be there. I think that's probably a pretty good thing. Is it bad in the fact that the draft opinion may not be 100% accurate and may not actually be what the Supreme Court decision lands on? Sure, that's the other side to it. That's the side where there could be some bad there, and that we may be getting a misinterpretation or not the full reality of what that Supreme Court ruling is going to be. All in all, though, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I'm not rushing to go beat the guy up who wanted to release this information. I think, or girl, or NB, whoever it may be. I think it's whatever. We see it all the time. We saw leaks in the Trump White House. We've seen leaks in just about every White House and every part of our government, oftentimes by people who we'll call either activists or whistleblower. And it's nothing new. I think it's a part of the culture, and I think it's when there's a hot button issue like this, I think it's important. And some people think it's important enough to get out in front of it and risk their jobs doing so. So hats off to them for risking their job for it.
Brittany, your opening statement.
Hey. Okay, so the league was obviously a last-ditch effort for them to try to stop this from happening, and I don't know if it'll work or not. I don't know how exactly the Supreme Court thing even works, why is it, was it February or something that this whole thing happened? I don't know if they should put maybe cameras in the Supreme Court. I know they've talked about that before, but maybe that's necessary. But I'm guessing it was by, who is it, Breyer that's leaving? I'm guessing it was one of his staffers, because what do they have to lose at this point? I don't think it was, or I'm guessing it wasn't anybody on the right. But that seems the most likely. I don't know if they get arrested for leaking this type of stuff, but it should be interesting. It definitely is a ballsy move of the Supreme Court to do this type of thing right before elections, because it's going to wake Democrats up, and they've been very, very sleepy, and this is going to just fire them up. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
And who would like to open us up for opening statements? Preacher, you got it.
Yeah, I want to, because Stardust had said something in what I had said about the difference between activists and Yeah, a whistleblower. To me, anyway, a whistleblower is like say there's a politician that's doing insider trading, and one of their staff members sees that and they take note of that and they leak that information. That's a whistleblower. They're blowing the whistle on something illegal going on and letting you know, look, this needs to be looked into. Whereas an activist doing it, they're not going to change the court opinion. Maybe they think that the public opinion will or mob opinion will rule on this, but they're not going to change the court opinion. I don't know if I can't even say that it was done. Some people think it's done because they wanted to distract people from other things going on in the country, which is a possibility. So far, voters, Democratic voters that have been questioned are already saying, like, this isn't going to even be on the list of things I check when I come to the voting booth. I'm looking at the economy. I'm looking at so many other things going on that Roe versus Wade is so far down here. So I don't know what I've also heard that might have been a conservative that released it, which I'm not sure why they would do that. But that's the difference. To me, that's the difference between a whistleblower and a activist. I win.
The floor is open.
I mean, it sounds like you're describing the same thing and just giving them two names.
Yeah, this
I mean,
seems like very arbitrary.
Maybe getting
very
lost in
arbitrary differences.
I mean, maybe getting lost in like what is it is kind of pointless because the information is out. But like I said, if you're focused more on the fact that there was a leak, then the contents of it is kind of a self-report.
Yeah, are we talking about are we going to be just talking about the leak, the idea that somebody's leaking, or are we going to talk about what they leaked and our thoughts on that?
I will stop it. I will stop it when I deem necessary.
Okay.
Don't get into the third topic.
Yeah, my thing isn't about it isn't talking about Roe versus Wade. I have my opinion on that, and I do believe Roe versus Wade is much more important than the leak. But what I'm saying is, when someone is a whistleblower, they're doing it for a just cause because somebody in government is doing something illegal. When somebody is an activist, they're just doing it because they're trying to spur action over here for some reason. What that action is, I don't know. But that's why I say there's a difference between the two. One is actually trying to expose corruption, whereas the other one's just... Listen, I forget your name down there, but he said it perfect. This is just another tool used to create division between the people. And this is the biggest tool used for how many years now to create division between the people.
I think leaked the information with the express purpose of creating division between the American public.
Well, I'm not saying they definitely did. I mean, there is a possibility of that. I don't know what their intentions were.
I mean, I would be suspicious of simple answers like that because, that shit's for fascists and teenagers. But if you're thinking that, hey, maybe this was to ensure that whatever information in the leak, whatever was in that draft, now that Republicans and conservatives, people who are, pro-forced birth, want Roe v. Wade out and Casey and Obergefell. And now, hey, we can say, well, we want that, and we won't take anything less. Do you think that maybe that's a more reasonable explanation? Or that, hey, this is bad, and this person has a conscience and decided to leak it? Do you think that those two possibilities are more likely than creating division in the country?
Honestly, I can't tell what the reasoning would be because, like I said, this is a first draft of what's going to come out anyway. They're going to release their decision. It's just not yet. So why even bother leaking it if the decision's going to come out either way? I mean, it'll probably be worded different in the final draft, I'm sure. But what do you get by leaking it early? That's why I said.
You prepare people. People who may end up in one of these states where abortion is illegal by the triggering of that decision, and that's what you're doing. Yeah, that's what you're doing is allowing these people to get the fuck out of these states to help them out. Because here's the truth. Here's the truth. The decision itself is going to divide the country. There doesn't have to be a leak for that to happen. As soon as the decision rolls out, the same shit's going to happen anyway. So it's a moot point. I seriously don't believe that dropping this fucking leak is in any way a means to divide the country any more than the people who made the decision knowing what they were going to do when they made that decision.
Okay, well then you disagree then.
Read something to you guys.
You disagree then with Grimalow. If that's your opinion, because Grimallow's point was what he did by leaking it was give everyone an opportunity to say, we want this, we don't want that, we won't accept anything else, which really isn't, that's not the place for the people to do that, because the Supreme Court are elected officials These are legislators. This isn't something that's up for
we
popular vote among
We do
the
get to drive
populace.
it with our legislators. That's the point. We can put pressure on our legislators to codify the protections of women's reproductive rights, as opposed to just letting the shit go through and us be stuck like fucking Chuck for some people who need
the legislators aren't
that
supposed
care.
to listen to the people. The legislators are supposed to interpret the law.
To listen to the people, which is exactly what
the
they're
Supreme
there to
Court.
do.
No, the
Or are you talking about
justices.
Supreme Court?
You're
talking about
Supreme Court
justices.
Yeah,
The Supreme Court
I actually agree
is
with
supposed
Big
to
Tech on
interpret
that.
the law.
The Supreme Court is different from like our elected representatives.
Right.
But what I will say is that a whistleblower, this is like what I looked up, okay, for the definition, is a person, often an employee, who reveals information about activity within a private or public organization that is deemed illegal, immoral, illicit, unsafe, or fraudulent. So it can be any one of those things. So this whole like distinction between whistleblower and activist is really like not meaningful at all.
Well, yeah, it does revealing what they revealed. Did they reveal anything that falls into any of those categories?
If they believe it was immoral, yeah.
It's immoral for them to be legislating. That's their job.
No, it's
They're
immoral
not
for them to
legislators.
overturn
Moral
Roe
for
v.
that
Wade.
decision.
Oh,
to-
you have a moral
yeah.
judgment about which way it looks like it's going to go, and
Yeah,
so you're leaking the fact that they're interpreting the law the way that they see fit. That's their job. That's not an illegal or immoral thing for them to do. You just disagree.
Right,
Legality
but
is
you
not a
are talking
substitute for
about
morality.
that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about what a whistleblower does, and a whistleblower leaks information because they deem that it is immoral or unsafe or something else like that.
It's because they deem it to be.
Yes.
Is that what
So now
that was in
you're
the
on real
definition?
slippery ground.
The whistleblower.
I
deems
think
it to
you
be
are
immoral.
adding that. You're adding that to the definition, are you? Did it say that they deem it to be, or that it is?
Yes.
Don't say yes. She's reading it.
A whistleblower is a person, often an employee, who reveals information about activity within a private or public organization that is deemed illegal, immoral, illicit, unsafe, or
That
fraudulent.
is deemed. All right, deemed
Yes.
by who?
The person who's leaking it.
Person who's leaking it.
That's really slippery
Okay.
ground.
So you're saying you think that this person leaked it because they thought, oh, this is immoral. These justices are doing something immoral.
No.
Well, then why?
Yeah. Well,
Or they
and,
can
and
take
it
that.
I'm
would
just-
be
I'm
because
just
they're
trying to
flying in
say
the face of
that the
standing
distinction-
precedent.
Again, here we're two people. Stardust, go, and then I'll give it to Jason.
Yeah. The distinction between whistleblower and activist is meaningless because the person, as he was saying earlier, that there's this difference. It's meaningless because the person whistleblowing, if they deem it immoral or unsafe or something else along those lines, that person is leaking it. That is what a whistleblower is.
Okay.
An activist may be doing it for the same reasons.
Okay, so can we then? Okay, so let's just concede I was wrong. Okay, a whistleblower and an activist go hand in hand, so we can use whatever word we want. Now let's get on to the leak because that's really what it's about.
Sure, I'm happy to do that.
But I see where you're going, and okay, I stand corrected. They could be hand in hand. I agree with you, Stardust. All right, you can smile about this, or not.
I think you're
Okay.
conceding a point that didn't get won, but so I don't agree with you.
I mean, I'm just trying to say
I
that the
understand that you just
distinction
want
is
to move on.
meaningless.
It's a
Are we
semantic
literally
Yeah.
like talking about
argument.
definitions right now? Is that what's happening?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Can we not?
I'm just trying to say that the distinction is meaningless. That's all.
All right,
Yeah.
it's meaningless. So then let's move
no,
on.
it isn't.
The fact that the highest court in the lands have paperwork leaked about a decision prior to that decision coming out, that's ugly ground to be on, and I believe it's probably only going to get worse with the way technology is. It's very ugly ground for us to have that type of there's a reason why courts do things with certain procedures, and I don't care if it's conservative or leftist that did it. You're wrong for doing it. That's way beyond the purview of your job, whatever your job may be.
So let's say it's 1973, okay? And we're about to have Roe v. Wade pass through the Supreme Court, right? But the public isn't aware of that yet. It's in a Supreme Court draft, right? And somebody who works within the Supreme Court, clerk, whatever it is, leaks that information to the press and says, "Hey, look, Roe v. Wade is going to be, rule of the land, whatever." And they want that to go to the public because they have a moral conscience that all of these babies are going to be cut up in the womb and their body parts are going to be sold, blah, 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 whatever conservative, like, brain rot talking points are out there. Do you think that would be a good thing?
Oh my gosh, dead babies, you conservative prick, what are you worried about? I think it did happen actually with the original one, and here's the thing.
Well, I'm asking that to ask, would you be okay with that? Like, just to kind of see.
Okay, and here's the thing about it. Once the draft is written, that means both sides have done their arguing. Decisions have been made. We are now drafting our answer. What are we hoping to do? Mob rule? Get the justices to change?
Exactly.
That's no way for a land to work. That is no way for a free country to work where mob rule.
That's the activism angle.
Yes. And you can see them outside the justices' houses. Come on, I mean, shame on the justices for not being in a better gated community. But aside from that,
we'll get into that later.
Yeah, but aside from that, like, you're outside a justice's house, you're doing all this stuff. Listen, the decision's been made. It has been made. You saw the first draft, which might not even be. It's obviously not the final draft. There's probably going to be changes, but to sit there and leak it. For what gain? What gain? Okay, so this way.
I think I just explained the gain pretty well.
All right, and you know what? I get that. I understand that.
But it's not just to stop it. It's to make people aware. It's to make people aware who are in states that have those trigger laws, so they can get the fuck out. There's more to it than just. We're gonna leak this for spite's sake, or for the political gain, or the political banter, or what it creates. That way. Prank, it's also going to protect a lot of people who otherwise wouldn't be able to get the hell out of those states. Like, now they have an avenue to get out. They wouldn't have before, because those trigger laws go in immediately once that ruling happens.
I'm going to agree with him on this, because anytime we're talking about abortion and I say, well, you know what, when it goes back to states' rights, you can just move to a state where it's allowed to be. Oh my God, you're telling people they have to move? Well, you're right. There you go. They can move.
You understand that setting up like aid networks and transportation is different than just telling people to uproot their entire lives, even if they're, in poverty, like most of Americans are, is very different.
Well, if you want to kill a baby, you're going to do what you got to do, right?
You're telling me that there's people who live in certain states and they're going, oh my God, they're going to take abortion away here. I better move to another state so I can get more abortions.
They're not going to move. They would just go get an abortion in another state.
They're going to move to another state so that they don't get charged for
Gremlo made a better
an
point
IUD,
here.
like in Louisiana.
I think that Gremlo made a
You think there's people that are thinking that?
That's happening in Louisiana.
No, I'm asking if there's people who are thinking that way about where they live and they're moving their house and their family so that they can have more abortions.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think people are finding out this law and thinking, oh my God, I got to move somewhere else. I think it's more likely that people are setting up aid networks in case like people need them, right? So like what Gremlo was saying, that there are probably going to be like support networks and aid networks, things like that. I don't think that people who make that decision are making it hastily and making it without thinking about it. So as far as moving, no, I don't think it's a warning to people to move. I think it's more to either make sure it happens or damage the reputation of the.
It stops.
Yeah.
Or maybe it is make sure it stops, but it would damage the reputation of people if this leak happens and then this doesn't happen.
Oh wait.
Oh, so you think the leak is making it more likely?
That you think that people who want to get out of states that have anti-abortion law trigger laws just want to go out of that state so that they can, get a bunch of cream pies and have abortions for fun? Like, what's going on?
Well, they haven't moved for any other reason yet.
What?
Yeah, no, I mean that wasn't a flaw with their argument. That was
he asked me a question. I want to hear what the hell was that question?
Jason's argument.
I said, do you think that people who are living in red states that have anti-abortion trigger laws that want to get out of those states just want to get out of them so that they can get busted in and have abortions for fun?
That's what you were saying. I was saying that sounds retarded. Yeah, it is.
Oh,
no,
Jason
I'm
was saying
that people need to get out of those states if they are able to and if they want to, so that they can have proper reproductive health care.
I'm sorry.
You literally just said the same thing twice.
No.
I gotta interject here.
What's the difference then, smart guy? What's this? Oh, hold on. Can we have a cage match? Cage match. I'm calling a cage match.
Cage match with who? Cage match with who?
Gremlo.
So your insinuation.
Gremlo. Okay, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. All right. I'm gonna ask that everyone else mute. I'm gonna disable everyone else's video besides Gremlo and Big Tech. So just so you guys are aware. But other than that, Gremlo and Big Tech, the floor is yours.
All right,
wait
so
a second for you to do that, or
No, you're good. Go
I'm
ahead.
ready.
Okay. Go ahead.
Gremlo's
All right, I like this feature. So, Grimlo, you're saying that when people move out of state so that they can have more access to.
More dumb shit from fucking Stardust. She obviously didn't understand the point of what I was saying was essentially was what Gremlo was saying. I'm sorry I didn't specify aid networks, but I figured that any rational fucking person wouldn't think a bunch of people would be fleeing a fucking state over abortion like that. I figured that people would understand that we were talking about aid networks. I'm sorry that I have to spell it out like a fucking 5-year-old for a bunch of goddamn adults.
Move their family out of state so that they can wear IUDs,
Yes.
and that by this thing being leaked, it's giving those people an ample heads up so they can pack up their home into a U-Haul van, sell their property, move to another state, buy a new house, reset up life, get their kids in a new school district so that they can wear IUD.
And other types of birth control, yeah.
Like what? Like what other types? Because I'm talking about abortion. That's what's on the table here, and you're bringing up all these other types of
It's not
reproductive
just
health.
Abortion.
You're telling me
You need
people
to
are
look
moving
at
out
the
of
trigger
state for
laws in
IUDs?
other states. There's
Hey,
a-
is this cage match or are you guys muted?
No.
Shit.
Casey is on the chopping block as well. That means that birth control is up for grabs as well.
Okay, so by Roe v. Wade being overturned, people are going to move out of state from Louisiana because of IUDs and birth control.
Yeah.
You're saying that that's why this leaker leaked it?
I'm saying that, well, that is a benefit of it being leaked early, right? That now
Oh, so
people
you-
have ample
well-
time to prepare and set up these
Oh,
networks
yeah.
to help people out.
How many people you think are doing that?
Oh, I have no idea.
Do you think there are people who are thinking this leak makes me want to move out of state so that I can keep my IUD?
Oh, 100%.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
I
That's
know.
crazy.
It's weird how, like, whenever you actually interact with women and people with wombs, how you actually understand different people's perspectives. It's kind of crazy how that works.
No, yeah, no, it's literally it's crazy. That's a crazy thing for a person to do. We have insane people.
Yes, we do. And one
Yeah,
of them
yeah,
is currently in this Discord call.
Yeah, Grimlo. It's nice to meet you. So these. Hey, how long do we have in our cage match? I want to keep going.
You have another
Couple
2.5 minutes.
2.5
let's go.
minutes? Okay.
Okay, so but the main thing, right? I mean, you want to call it reproductive health services, but the main thing is abortions, right? That's the main
yeah.
thing at risk. So you
I would
mentioned
say, like,
Louisiana, that's one
abortion
state,
and,
but we have
and birth
49
control.
more. Okay, but Roe v. Wade doesn't give you rights to birth control.
Casey does.
How many states is that?
How many
What's
states does
Casey? What's
Casey cover?
Casey? What are
Casey
you
is what
talking- I don't
allows
e-
people
I
to
don't
have access to birth control nationwide.
What is that? Is that a different thing than Roe v.
Yes,
Wade?
that's also within that draft. So is a birth
That
control.
draft is going to override. So they're not going to be able to get birth control anymore?
Yes. It will
Where?
no longer be federally, I don't know what the legal language is, but basically the guarantee nationwide that you can have access to birth control, IUDs, the pill, shot, patch, whatever it is. Casey is what allows that.
So what states do you think are going to stop offering birth control and IUDs in the pill?
Louisiana, for one.
Louisiana is going to stop allowing birth control.
IUDs will be considered homicide.
Okay, so just Louisiana and just IUDs, right? Anywhere else?
IUDs will, and the state, oh God, what do they call it? The state funding that allows people to get access to like the pill and stuff like that.
Just IUDs, just Louisiana. Anywhere else?
There's a handful of other ones. Jason, he's muted, but he might be able to back me up on the data there.
Okay, so the main thing we're talking about is still abortion, and you want to talk about reproductive rights of the pill and the IUD in Louisiana. Why just that? The main thing everybody's up in arms about isn't that, right? That is a...
No, they
am I
are
wrong
also
that that's
up in
a
arms about
fringe
that as
aspect
well.
of it? Oh, really? That's why they're saying my body, my choice because they want to get the IUD in Louisiana? That's why they're at the federal capitol in D.C.?
I mean, if you want to paint it with a very broad brush, sure.
No, you're wanting to paint with a pencil-thin brush this one little line, and we're talking about the actual canvas here. And what is what's
people
being
want
painted is
access to
we're-
abortion because that's health care.
So
People
there's
want access
13
to birth
states
control
with
and the
trigger
IUD and
laws.
all the
Okay,
other
because
forms
that's
of.
health, you don't have to add because that's healthcare, and that they want to be able to kill
Arkansas,
their babies.
Idaho,
That's what
Kentucky,
they want. They want to be able
Louisiana,
to have- they
Mississippi.
want
I
to be able
mean,
to get
listen, if
pregnant.
you want to
Missouri,
like load
North
the
Dakota,
argument with
Oklahoma,
emotional
South
language
Dakota.
because you have the
I'm not being
emotional
emo-
intelligence
You're
of a
getting
4-year-old,
emotional.
you can do
Tennessee,
that if
wanting
you
to
want.
defuse
And
the
Wyoming.
argument by calling it because that's healthcare.
It is
You did
healthcare.
that.
All
Okay,
right,
because
the,
that's healthcare,
the cage match is over. Everyone else is being unmuted. With that being said, the two people in the cage match will be muted for 3 minutes following this discussion, and everyone else, the floor is yours. I'm going to hand it to, I believe, Stardust was the last person to say something prior to, so Stardust, you got the floor.
Can I call a cage match with myself?
I don't have a rule against it. No.
Okay,
do you
I'm
have
gonna
a
call a
5-minute
cage
speech?
match. I'm sure I can draw it out to 5 minutes. Sure, yeah.
All right, cage match with just Stardust. So everyone else, please mute. And I'm gonna go ahead and just focus on Stardust. That's the better way to do it. And Stardust, go ahead.
I'm gonna have a fucking aneurysm here.
Jesus
I'm gonna
fucking
have a
Christ.
fucking aneurysm. This idea that people are moving because of abortions I'm sorry, but I think it's a stupid argument. If I were going to argue about why it's just a stupid argument. Like, nobody is moving with the idea that, oh, one day I might need an abortion and I'm not going to be able to get it here, right? More likely, this thing is being leaked, like what Gremlo was saying before he got derailed. For the express purpose of setting up networks where people can get assistance if they need to. Now, as far as the contraceptive thing, that has to be the contraceptives is what comes next. We can't be saying that because abortion would be illegal or would be triggered to be illegal past very early stages in certain states. We can't be saying that people would be leaving for contraceptive when contraceptives aren't yet on the table. They may be next, but it's still not yet on the table. IUDs. I see that experts said that the trigger law ready to ban abortion in Missouri would also outlaw the use of IUDs. I still think that I find it kind of not the greatest argument that we're saying that people would move states because they're unable to get IUDs within that state. I think that a better argument is either that they leaked it because they either one, want it to continue to stay that decision, or two, want that decision to change. I think a leak like that we can use to prepare for people in the future who need to get abortions, because we know that abortion being illegal doesn't stop abortion. It just stops safe abortions. It stops abortions that are regulated by nurses and doctors and other medical professionals. And I think that that's super important. We are potentially snuffing out now 2 lives because somebody is going to be getting a back alley abortion and possibly ending their own life through that. And if they have pre-existing children, which 60% of women who seek out abortions already have children, they're going to we're potentially removing the mother of lots of children. That's something to think about. Also the fact that a lot of people who seek out abortions are people who are seeking it out because they find that their relationship is deteriorating or already abusive. I think that there are plenty of arguments as to why this is a very concerning law, without saying that we're leaking it or somebody leaked it because we need people to move out of those states. I don't think anybody is going to move out of those states, especially when they have family and they have their lives completely rooted in that state. It's more...
I'm sorry, Stardust is a fucking moron. She missed the whole fucking point of it, and she did so deliberately, and she's fucking dumb. I'm sorry. She's fucking dumb. We're on the same side of the argument, but she's still fucking dumb.
That way I stay consistent. So you'll be muted for 3 minutes. Everyone else is going to be unmuted, so you guys can hop back in the conversation. But the floor is open to everyone.
I don't feel like we need
So I'm looking and I'm not seeing anything about Casey being part of the overturn. From what I've read, they've made it very clear that this is just Roe versus Wade. They're not going after anything else. And even if it was mentioned, which I haven't seen it yet, I haven't been able to find it. I've been looking all over for it. Again, it's just the first draft, and that could be something that gets nixed later on. Which is
anything else? Who's not going after anything?
I haven't heard that either. That's why I thought it was weird.
That the draft said that the justices said this is simply about Roe versus, because a lot of people are saying, well, next they're going to go after gay marriage, next they're going to go after this, and
Maybe
the
not the
justice.
Supreme Court, but
so.
I think both sides are probably, one side's doing a little fear mongering, the other side is doing maybe a little trolling. I don't know if it's trolling or not, but they are talking about 19th Amendment. They're talking about gay marriage. They're talking about the Brown bill.
Yeah.
They're talking about a lot. They're talking about banning contraceptives.
And I think that's the problem with this type. That's the problem with a leak like this, because people are starting to argue over something that we don't even know what the frig it is. Like, you're arguing over hidden elements, and and that's a huge problem. Another huge problem with a leak like this. Like, it's a first draft. There's probably 2 or 3 more drafts before they get to the final release. Someone should have just crossed their legs and held on until they got to the bathroom.
Cross their legs.
Yeah, they peed their pants instead. Oh, yeah, didn't even think about that. Sorry. No pun intended there.
As I said, and the moving thing was such a limited fucking scope of what I was trying to get across. However, some people want to fixate on that bullshit instead of really addressing the issues.
Well, you brought it up twice.
Well, it's an easy thing to get in on. So bear with me a little bit. Bear with me while I explain things like you're 5. Of course, people aren't going to run away and move. Of course, there's going to have to be movements made. Of course, there's going to have to be aid institutions set up. Of course, there's going to have to be people who want to go and solicit their legislators, not their justices, their legislators, to codify women's reproductive rights into law, which is what they started doing. It was a means to get people to mobilize. Now, if we want to move past that, I don't think there's any other effect that it's really going to have other than getting people to mobilize, whether that's, setting up like aid infrastructure, like what Gremlo was talking about, or contacting their legislators, or leaving their fucking state if that's what they want to do. Okay, there's a litany of different things that people could do to mobilize once they have the information, but having that information was crucial to those people for whom it was important.
Stardust is unmuted, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Do you guys think that they're going to expand the Supreme Court after this? If this happens.
Who is going to expand the Supreme Court?
Stardust, go ahead. Stardust, go ahead. This is going off topic.
Stardust, go ahead. No, it's not.
Yeah.
I told you I'd stop the topic. I told you no, Brittany. I told you I'd stop the topic when I deemed it too far. I've deemed it too far. Stardust, the floor is yours.
Wow.
Wow.
Why, what's the topic now?
The topic is still the first topic.
I would say that also another thing that to keep in mind in these states where abortion is going to be outlawed, we also want to, keep in mind that our miscarriages now going to be under investigation. If somebody miscarries and they were previously a pro-choice person, what is stopping them from being investigated?
They should be.
I think they already look at miscarriages. Most of them are looked at and are automatically deemed not anything foul going on. But there are some that are self-induced miscarriages. Very few of them are, but I think they're already looked at. I mean, anytime that they have something like that happen, it's looked at.
Yeah, if you're so into women's health, wouldn't you want to get looked at by a doctor if you have a miscarriage?
We're talking about investigated for.
Yeah, we're talking about investigated for because miscarriages are so common. What is stopping somebody from now in these states where it's outlawed investigating somebody's miscarriage to see if they were if they induced it or something like that?
Off topic,
Someone who,
Zach.
like a doctor?
It's off topic, Zach.
No, not by a doctor, by law.
Yeah, by
Right?
police, right?
Like the police are gonna come look up her snatch and see if she miscarried because of an abortion.
Well, it
I
kind
think
of
they would
throws
have to
HIPAA
be.
out
They would
the
have to be-
fucking window
okay,
for
so
sure, right?
They would
It
have
would throw
to be
HIPAA
informed by
completely
a
out the
doctor.
fucking window.
No, they're
They
gonna
would
do
have-
bounty shit like in Texas.
They would have to actually
No,
be
they're
informed
gonna
by a
just
doctor,
look
and the
at the
doctor would
doctor's
only
notes
inform if
and-
there was a reason.
Exactly. The doctor is gonna go, hey, looks like there was some funny business here.
Doctor's not gonna be like,
And you-
listen, I
and-
saw
and
a
the two-
Bernie sticker on this chick's bumper. She had a miscarriage, so I want her investigated.
And
not
you
gonna be
two
like
think
that.
that that's cool?
It's not gonna be
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. I'm saying,
Okay,
And
so
listen,
I
a
think I
doctor-
see 2 abortions that should have happened at least.
dude,
You're
that's pretty
that's,
disgusting. You would say
exactly.
that.
Okay.
However, what I'm going to
Basically
say,
wishing death on me.
yeah,
so
pretty much,
Fuck
but
you.
it's cool. But listen, what I was going to say is that's not going to happen. Miscarriages are already looked at, and if a doctor sees a reason to report it to the law, he will or she will. That's the doctor's duty.
Why are people going to be incentivized to even go to the doctor then if they feel like if they're miscarrying?
Because if you miscarried and you did not cause it, it's a health issue, and you need to know why. I would hope to help.
Yeah, but
that
why
if you
would they
mis-
go to the doctor if they feel like they're going to be under scrutiny and they might possibly be reported to law enforcement if the doctor is deciding that something looks weird? Like if you're miscarrying, you're not going to go to the doctor now.
You guys are
because
going
you're
way too
afraid of
deep
being
into it.
prosecuted.
That's
This
way
has
too deep.
already
way
happened
too deep into it.
historically.
Historically, it's
Yes.
happened. The people just for no reason the doctor said, yeah, listen, the kid dropped early and it's her
No,
fault.
where people forego getting medical care because they are afraid of legal scrutiny. When it
Well,
comes
they're
to
unintelligent
miscarriages,
people
this has
then.
already happened.
Yeah, good.
That's an unintelligent
Stay home.
decision.
It's
Stay home,
unintelligent to not
you
want to
didn't-
go to jail whenever you
Don't
have a
go to
miscarriage.
I don't want left just to go to the doctor.
whoa,
I want
whoa.
to get sick and die.
You,
Cool.
Okay. Okay.
you just
All
said
right.
You have to have the money
Hold on.
to go to a doctor,
You
right?
just-
Kidding.
If
You
you ain't
just
got the
came-
money to go to the doctor, you
People-
might not be going to the doctor. If you don't have the money to get regular care and you're pregnant and something happens to that child while you're pregnant and it turns into a miscarriage and some dickhead doctor you end up going to see to get care afterwards says, oh, well, it's your fault. You didn't care for the child. And it's like, well, yeah, I didn't have the money to go to the doctor to
oh, you
care
guys
for
are
the
going
child.
way extreme on
You know,
this. Way
that's not
extreme.
extreme. That's not
already happened.
extreme. That's
Crap.
happening with people.
That's extreme. It's not happening.
What do you
It is
think happens with
extreme,
people
and
that
it's
don't
happening.
have health care?
They get
It is
wealth.
extreme. It's the reality of that we exist in.
It is not the reality we exist in. I don't know where the hell you guys live,
Absolutely
but
is.
holy crap, I don't want to live in that state. Holy
You
shit.
live
You
in
think
a
that doctors
country
are
where it
infallible
happens.
to like personal bias?
No,
Like, they just-
doctors are not
What about-
infallible. No, I would
What
never
about
say
if
that.
what about if they actually, if the government was to support in the states that they are going, because obviously it's not going to be in every single state. Like each state is going to have their own decisions, and most of it's going to be in the Deep South. But if the Deep South starts to actually pay for these, what just happened? Who did we lose?
We dropped somebody.
Stardust.
um,
No. Jason. No.
Grimlow.
Around
You
the-
dropped the
Who
tech.
the hell is it? Oh, it's the ginger. Who cares?
Hey,
No,
Okay,
never mind.
so- Yeah, it's okay. Nobody could even tell.
Listen, can I throw something in here real quick because I noticed like.
Yeah, I didn't even finish my sentence.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Go. Don't beat me up. Holy crap, I'm afraid of you.
So if the states that did decide to ban abortions completely, those states also decided to help the families or women or whatever that were going to have babies, would that change anybody's opinions at all?
Wait, what?
Financially, if they would financially help these people, like more than just like, you know, scraping by, like
Listen, I don't. Okay, I'm gonna
Like
talk
help
about where
them with
I
like
live.
prenatal care,
have
child
babies.
care, like what?
yeah, sure, all of it, all the
We should
above.
already be doing that.
They are, at least in my state, they do.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
let's
Take a
go
look
to
at
the states
Kentucky.
that,
Tell me
like,
that it's
outlaw
happening there.
abortion.
All right, we're going pretty
Oh
far
my
off
God,
the original
Jack, this is
topic.
a
No,
very
no, no.
very
Listen,
biased,
listen,
and
listen,
it's only
listen,
Okay, I'm gonna answer her question.
listen, Brittany.
I
Brittany.
object.
All right,
And-
and you get muted. That's what
Can I,
happens.
we
can I
got
answer
everything we
Brittany's?
could
Can I
out of
answer
the
No,
Brittany's question
no,
before we
quiet,
move on?
everyone.
Son of a gun.
Quiet.
I thought we were
All right.
friends.
Can everyone say what they have to say in the closing statements? Yes or no?
Sure. Yeah. Whatever.
Brittany,
Fine.
you have to nod. I
is this the
can't
end
hear
of
you.
this subject or the end of the debate?
The end of this topic.
I think she just said you're
Oh,
number
okay.
one twice.
I'm always number one. So we're gonna go to the closing statements. Brittany, you will go first for closing statements. Go ahead.
I'm allowed to speak now. Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Because every
you can
time I'm
speak now.
trying to say anything, I'm getting muted or I'm being shut down, and I feel very, very attacked right now. So
I think
this is
you're
our
being
first
attacked.
topic. I don't even care. Let's just go to somebody else. I'm still seething. All right, and coping.
Jason, your closing statements.
Yeah, I don't see any problem with the league. I think it probably served a utility for the people whom this decision is going to affect, and hopefully they were able to mobilize and make some good use out of the information they received.
Big Tech, your closing statement.
I think the leak was stupid, and the guy who did it was a dumb, stupid, cotton-headed ninny muggins, and he wasn't white, and he wasn't a Christian, and I don't like him, and if we had good people in there, it wouldn't have happened. Get him out of there.
Again, I want to remind people that I do not, the Spartacus does not condone the views of the panelists, nor does the American Octagon condone the views
Yes, he
of the
does. Yes, he does.
panelists.
Yes, he does.
Stardust, your closing statement.
We'll see what the results of this leak are. Hopefully people are able to set up support networks so people can get contraceptive, get assistance getting abortions in the future if they really need it. Because I don't like the idea of taking away a mother from her children because she wasn't provided a safe method for terminating a pregnancy when she is deemed that she's going to be unable to take care of that pregnancy. There are so many, again, at least 60% of people who seek out abortions are already mothers, and some of the top reasons they seek out abortions is because they are already struggling to or not even meeting their basic living expenses, and because their relationship with their partners is deteriorating. A lot of the times abuse has started even before the positive pregnancy test, and we know based on studies that people who were denied an abortion are much more likely to stay with an abusive partner, also exposing those existing children to abuse in the household. So I think that I'm hoping that that some good comes out of this. Only time will tell.
Preacher, your closing statement.
Yeah, most of this stuff is a script given to us by Spartacus, so it is his opinion anyway. The leak's a horrible thing. A leak at that high of a spot in our judicial system is insane that it should happen. Activist, whistleblower, doesn't matter what the hell you call them, they're an idiot. And all they've done is create division. They're not going to change how the voting goes. People are more worried about the tanking economy and everything else going on in this country that Roe versus Wade takes a whole backseat to it. And all the reasons given of
Roe v. Wade takes a back seat to it. This guy is a fucking moron. What are we going to do with a bunch of unwanted children that nobody can afford to fucking have when we're in a fucking recession? That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. What are you fucking talking about? Oh my god!
Afterwards, it's already happened, and it's a bad thing. And we'll see when the final decision comes out. I think there's a whole lot of fear mongering going on right now.
And Grimlow, your closing statement.
Whistleblowers are good. Reproductive health care is good. Abortions are pog. That's it.
All right, we are moving on to the second topic. Biden has now established the Disinformation Governance Board inside the Department of Homeland Security. This has happened. Biden has put it in. It's going to happen, and I'm going to ask for your views. So we will go the opposite way we did for outros. This will happen every time. So intros will start with Grimlow, and then outros will start with Brittany. So Grimlow, your intro, please.
So I think it's good to have any kind of governing body investigate misinformation that is circulating within media online. It's good to combat that, but and hey, maybe we'll have like a moment of unity here. Depending on how it's used, it is a tool, and depending on how it's used, it can be used for good and it can be used for bad things. So it really just depends on what exactly the mechanisms of how they combat misinformation, kind of work. So, yeah.
Preacher, your opening statement.
No, I think it's a completely horrible idea. And if anybody says, "Oh, well, they're only going to be watching the media," yeah, remember how the Patriot Act started? Didn't go too well. I think they watch every. They're probably watching us right now, by the way. And that's how it's going to go with this. Even if they say, "Oh, we're just watching media," okay. First of all, who's to say disinformation? Because they said a lot of stuff was disinformation that turned out, well, it's extremely true. I'm not going to get into those stories. I think we all know what they are. Everybody on the left said, it's Russian disinformation. Oh, shit, no, it's real. So who's to say what's disinformation? We definitely don't need the government. There's a reason why we fought Europe or fought England and broke away from them, because we didn't want this type of governmental control. If we think the government's good at censoring and discerning disinformation, boy, that's a hell of a road to go down. Yeah, no. I think it's a horrible, horrible thing, and it will affect us all. Right now, the people on the left think it's good because they think conservatives are going to be censored. Wait till that shit turns around on you, though.
Stardust, your opening statement.
Yeah, I disagree with what my previous person before me, Preacher, said, because I think that there's disinformation on both sides. We've seen it with, like, for example, the Breonna Taylor thingy, where people were saying that she was asleep when she was shot, when we know that she wasn't asleep. Also, we've seen it with, like, like, there's very, very frequent, like, far left propaganda, just like there is far right propaganda. So I think that we've seen, and I think we can all agree that disinformation and misinformation is a significant issue in today's age, regardless of where it comes from and what side is using it. We already have information disclosures or disclaimers as is. For example, we have, like, on Lysol bottles, not for human consumption, Tide Pods to keep away from your children, don't let people eat it, right? Because let's face it, the Tide Pods look kind of tasty. So I think it's good that we already have these disclaimers. The average person doesn't have enough time or energy to keep up to date on every important issue that is swirling through the media today. So I think it's good that we're providing a service for them. If it's just disclaimers saying that, like, hey, this is what the information is, this is what is known, that, like, bleach is dangerous for you to consume. I think that there's nothing wrong with that.
Big Tech, your opening statement.
I think it's awesome. I think it's great. I can't wait until we get in charge, and we're going to use it to literally strangle your necks until you can't speak and say lies anymore. We're going to put all the liars into salt mines and cracking rocks out in the desert sun until your hands are covered in blisters and your skin is all burned. You'll be starving and thirsty and sad. If you tell a lie publicly, if you tell a lie from any type of political platform, if you tell a lie in the news, if you tell a lie, if you try to tell people that, for example, let's say there is no God, if you tell people that pornography is good, if you tell people that pedophilia is just it's a natural thing, homosexuality in marriage is normal, if you say things like that, jail, straight to jail, literally prison camp, possibly torture. We are going to go freaking extreme on your ass as soon as we get control of it. So I think it's great, and I can't wait.
Jason, your opening statement.
I have a tendency towards not trusting the government where it comes to speech, especially because dissenting views tend to be the ones that are persecuted. And having been on the left for a long time and having seen what several factions of the right have tried to do to silence the left when they had control, I'm in no position to want to change anything around those kinds of things. I don't like the idea of thought crimes. I don't like the idea of speech crimes. I think that's fucking dumb. And I don't know the scope of what it is that Biden's task force is going to be working on here. And maybe with a little more understanding of that, maybe I would have more of an opinion about how I felt about this specifically. But generally speaking, I think anytime the government is trying to get in the middle of what they're deeming as good information and bad information, they're not the most credible source. You know, they're not the most credible institution. So I'm not sure how I feel about this. I'm pretty leery. Should we be open to labeling disinformation, sure, but like, how far is this going to go? You know, what shape is this going to take? And what are they going to do when they find out somebody is, you know, providing disinformation? You know, how far are they going to take it? So those are the things I'm a little bit more interested in finding out.
Brittany, your opening statement.
Oh, am I allowed to talk again?
No, you're not. You're muted. All right, so now we're gonna.
Oh,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
This panel sucks. All right, Zach. This panel sucks. All right. First of all, this is the one that I didn't quite research, but I think I can handle. All right. So I think that the only way to combat bad speech is a good speech, or what is it? The only way to combat a guy with bad speech is a good guy with good speech. So let's go with that. But I do think that if you have both sides, like I don't think we should have these 24-hour networks. I think that they should be either one of them and have both sides on them, and you can kind of combat it, and just leave the actual news to the local channels. But there's no real way you can battle this stuff, this disinformation. You're just gonna have to have other people giving the actual information and let it all come out, because nobody's gonna trust whatever information is coming out if you don't allow the other side to combat it, and that seems to be the case for what's going on these days. Okay, I'm done.
All right, we are now going to move to an open floor. Does anyone want to start us off with the open floor?
Yeah, I'll start off. So it looks like I'm looking at the DHS right now, and it looks like the DHS they released a statement saying that they would monitor disinformation spread by foreign states such as Russia, China, and Iran, and transnational criminal organizations and human smuggling organizations, and disinformation spread during natural disasters. An example being like the safety of drinking water during Hurricane Sandy. The department is deeply committed to doing all of its work in a way that protects Americans' freedom of speech, civil rights, civil liberties, and privacy. So I would say, like, I don't know that this is going to result in people being jailed or anything like that. It certainly doesn't seem like it. It seems like it's just going to be monitoring information that's coming in from outside sources and information that it could possibly harm the public. If we're talking about the safety of drinking water, I would again compare that to disclaimers found on any household chemical products, right? Like anything like that. The disclaimers about not consuming or drinking bleach or not eating Tide Pods. I would just compare it to that.
I think honestly, if we look back, that's how the Patriot Act started. The Patriot Act was just to keep an eye on terrorists in the country. Now the Patriot Act includes every single person, and as I don't know about jailing. I don't know where they would go with it. However, I just know it's a bad idea to allow the government. Listen, I get it. People are busy, but if topics are that important, you can at least look at, okay, well, CNN said this. Okay, well, what did Fox or what did Crowder or what did Shapiro say over here about that? You can look at comparisons from the other side. You can do research. I mean, when I was in school, they taught us critical thinking. I think that's the major issue, is that critical thinking has gone out the window. It's let the state think for you, and we'll tell you if you're right or wrong. And that's the huge problem. And I do understand the disclaimers. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think you're targeting me here, because at one time I did accidentally drink bleach. Found out it wasn't.
I was not aware of that.
Well, I asked someone to put peach in my cup, meaning peach schnapps, and the kid thought I said bleach, and I took a shot and went, ooh. It doesn't taste good, by the way. It does not taste good.
That explains a lot.
It does. I know it does.
No, I mean, from that description, Stardust, that you provided, like, it seems kind of innocuous. I don't really have an issue with those kinds of things. It sounds like they're wanting to be able to address issues when there's national emergencies. I mean, and when there are people putting out disinformation that's counterintuitive to the safety of everybody, that's, you know, there's a reason to have something like that. There's a reason to be able to set the record straight, you know, or provide some labeling that says, hey, this is disputed by a great deal of, you know, scientists and researchers, or, you know, what have you. I don't see any problem with that. I think that's
the totally organization credible. In and of itself isn't a problem. It's like how they're going to use the mechanisms of it.
Right.
That we need to like be at least suspicious of. I don't have a problem with people being like, oh, you know, government institutions, I don't really know if I trust them. That's perfectly reasonable. But to just say like, no, this is the Ministry of Truth. It's literally George Orlando's 1965. Well, I'm sorry, like, let's be real.
Well, you know, if it was just those
I
labels,
think it
like
was
face-
George Floyd. George Floyd, 1985.
Oh, George, yeah, he has some
Yeah,
wise
that's what you're
words,
thinking of.
very wise words. But I mean, the labels are already there on Facebook. They're annoying, but they're there, and you can click them if you want. And that I could deal with that if it was just going to be that. I'm sorry, and I'm not even a freaking conspiracy theorist. I don't trust the government to leave it at that. I don't. And remember, whoever's in control, whether it be Republican or Democrat, as much as we don't like it, whoever's in control is controlling what is allowed and isn't allowed when it comes down to this. So, I mean, right now it's okay because you know what?
Be us.
You know, apparently this is supposed to be a continuation of work that began in the Department of Homeland Security in 2020 under former President Trump.
Yeah, they say that, and I would have disagreed with it
Yeah,
even
they
if Trump
say
did it,
that.
to be honest with you. and if Trump would have put this through, I would listen. I don't care who's president, left, right, Republican, Democrat. I don't care. You do not deserve all of this power. To me, no, absolutely not. We need to shrink the hell out of the
We don't know
government.
what power they even have. They haven't even said what type of power they have.
That's a big problem.
This could be as
It
simple
seems
as
like
like people
alarmism.
saying, "Hey, take the I-5 to get out of here during a natural disaster," and the I-5 is closed. It's like it could be as simple as that.
Yeah.
Correcting information.
Yeah, it could be, but let's
Or
be
people
honest.
saying,
I
"Hey,
mean,
take horse paste to treat your COVID."
if it's
Or
something
could
as
be
simple
people
as-
saying that the reason why the Russia-NATO conflict is happening is actually all our fault because we've been forwarding NATO up Russia's ass, and then they come and say you're not allowed to say that.
It could be that too,
Good.
but we don't know.
Isn't this what a press secretary is for? Like when the information gets out there, and if it's bunk information, isn't the press secretary's job already to say, "Listen, you're asking me about this, Peter Ducey? Well, let me tell you this." Or
The amount of information swirling around in the media right now and even online, I think it's impossible for one person to be addressing everything at a press conference.
not
the
Saki.
average
She's an evil
American-
ginger. She doesn't even sleep.
The average,
That's racist.
the average
That's
American,
racist.
the
Disavow.
average American is not the average American does not have the time or the energy after they've been working to be investigating and be massively informed on every single issue that's going on.
I have to
It's
debate
just
that.
not. They are just. There's not enough time or energy for somebody who is managing a full-time job and taking care of their family to do that.
There's too much social media activity to say that there's not. Maybe don't be on Facebook or Twitter or TikTok as long, and actually look up, if it's something important to your life. Well, I think that's a little
Please
bit more
don't say
important.
do your own research.
Why? Why?
Because the average person again doesn't have that time.
They have the time.
Also,
They
the
won't make
average
the
person
time.
is not equipped to be able to engage with all of the information and be able to analyze it accurately. That's why we have these institutions.
There's basic information out there that you can get. If the new
Yeah,
if,
that
if
basic
Russia's-
information is what got people eating the horse paste, man.
Okay, it's not horse paste. Let's get over this. All right, that actually had a purpose
He
beforehand.
said horse paste.
Yeah.
Oh my!
You know, this is all the same.
It
Also, the
also
same
has
institution
no
that said,
therapeutic effect.
You cannot hear anyone say
Unless
quiet,
taken in
quiet,
toxic
quiet,
doses, so
quiet.
whatever.
I cannot hear anyone anymore. Preacher was talking. Preacher, go ahead, finish.
there were also the same institutions that saying Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation. Guess what? No, it's not. There's a pecker. There's a crack fight. That's pretty damn real.
It is a nice cock.
Hey, I'm not judging. I haven't seen it, but I'm not judging.
It's very nice, actually. It's got a
It
good
is
length,
nice.
good girth.
And we're moving on.
It's nice.
I'll send you a picture. You should see mine. You like that one?
Well, listen. All I'm gonna say on this is, we are playing with dangerous ground when we start allowing the government to take control of more things. Like I said, I'm all for a shrinking the hell out of the federal government, but maybe I'm
How
on
would
my
you
own
like to
freaking mind.
combat misinformation?
Opposing view.
So you want free marketplace of ideas, and you think that that's an adequate way of combating the vast media networks that we have that are disseminating misinformation?
That's how it happens right now. CNN
That's
says
currently
something,
what
Fox will
happens.
challenge it.
That's currently what happens now. Again,
Right.
that is the
Okay.
reality we exist in, where people
And what's wrong with
are
it?
inundated. What's wrong with it?
Let
I'm
us tell you.
talking to what is wrong with it, my friend.
You're talking to
Oh,
me,
that's rude.
and
Yes.
I'm wrong with what the
It's-
system now.
You're an example of how your consent is being manufactured.
Right, because I can think for myself, and holy shit, that's horrible.
Yeah, that's crazy
I
what's
need,
happening.
you're
I
not
need,
thinking
I need
for
Uncle
yourself.
Bad touching the
That's
White
the
House to tell me
thing.
how to think. That's what I need.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what it sounds like. I mean, well, then what's
I
wrong?
know.
What's the? I'm not sure what the issue is then.
What about the fairness doctrine?
I don't know what that is.
I think that they did away with the fairness doctrine.
Yeah,
if
no,
I'm
I know
correct.
they did away with it, but
Yeah,
That's where
Reagan did away with the fairness doctrine.
right. But and the Equal Times Act, things like that, they did away with. But if there's some kind of reversal on that in a modern sense, because obviously we have a whole new online community that we have to kind of take into account. But I think the fairness doctrine could be a good roundabout way to kind of combat some of this stuff.
So the government controlling free enterprise
No, it's
within our
not.
news institutions?
It's not. I think the fairness doctrine actually makes it so the people control it.
Right. So our representatives are able to properly manage our media apparatus? Is that what I'm understanding?
Well, let me just read what the
Yeah.
Fairness Doctrine of the United States Federal Communications Commission, introduced blah blah blah, was
Like
a policy that required the holders of broadcast license both to present controversial issues of public importance and to do so in a manner that fairly reflected differing viewpoints. So you would have to have basically both sides talking about these things. If somebody didn't feel like they were being fairly represented, then they could actually put that through, and somebody else could kind of combat that. Also, the Equal Times Act, I think, did a similar thing where both sides would have an equal time to defend themselves. I don't know. I think more speech is better. I don't think that we should be suppressing anything, but that's just.
On the same
I think
topic,
if it's-
but in order to maybe help the conversation, I would ask you guys, what do you think if we don't institute something that's a top-down mechanism for regulation and restriction on speech? What is the solution then to get our lying, corrupt, basically evil, two-sided media organizations to tell us the truth?
I think this is more like the way that this has been described to me. It just seems like they're going to be putting out disclaimers about natural disasters and things like that. I don't know that I trust the media to know everything about an ongoing natural disaster like Hurricane Katrina or Hurricane Sandy, things like that. I would rather that we have a government organization that's able to tell people where they can go, where they can seek shelter, where they can what roads they can use, things like that. I don't know that I can trust like a media organization to be right about that.
It seems to me, it seems to me like a public utility more than anything, the way that you're describing it anyways. And we have institutions like that, so I don't think a continuation or a building upon that is necessarily a bad thing. I think if you are talking about, policing somebody's speech, that's completely different, but I don't think that's what this is by the definition that we're being provided here. Is somebody getting something else from that definition? Are you hearing anything different?
I mean, it seems like the implication, at least from, I don't want to straw man here for Big Tech and Preacher or even Brittany. Brittany, you haven't had really a chance to speak a whole lot. But it seems like the implication from your side is that it's going to be some kind of like a Big Brother situation, which is kind of the line we've always heard.
Right. Which it just
like you said,
doesn't
it
seem to
doesn't seem
bear
like
out
that's the
here.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, did you not see what happened with the Patriot Act?
I did. So
And
you
what's to
think
stop
that this
this
is just an extension of the Patriot Act?
No,
I understand
no,
your trepidation towards like this.
That's not what
know-
I'm saying. That's not
Okay.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
saying it has the potential because the Patriot Act came
Right.
out for just this small thing, and then it became all Americans. This has the potential to come out and say, okay, well, we're just going to put these little disclaimers out there. That's all we're going to do. And the next thing you know, it spreads. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but anytime you put power into the government's hand, you take that chance. That's why you're better off not putting that, because once the government gets that power, they don't give it back. I've never seen the government give back power, except for during Prohibition, and the only reason they gave back at that time is because they saw how much money they can make on taxes.
But this
Right.
doesn't
well,
sound
again,
like
it comes to what the solution actually is. You're saying that there is a possibility that your trepidation is when it comes to the government doing any kind of like oversight on misinformation, right? Because that can, be against free speech. But your alternative is what we already have, and that doesn't work.
Like, what do you mean by what we already have?
The free marketplace of ideas. Do your own research, that kind of shit.
Why doesn't that work?
Because it clearly doesn't work. We're looking at a time when QAnon is currently polled at 16% of the country believing QAnon. Whatever the stats are that people believe that the 2020 election was stolen. People don't believe that COVID is real or that it's not a danger. Or some people want to do ethno-states. So, yeah, it seems like we need some kind of... I know, it's crazy. It's so cute down there with your little mustache. Anyway,
let's go.
So, yeah, it seems that the free marketplace of ideas doesn't yield the results that you think it does.
I think it does, except you're looking, and I'm not saying you're cherry picking at all, but you're looking at, excuse me, the minority groups who would focus on QAnon and not say, okay, listen,
bro, we tried to have a coup like 2 years ago.
I wasn't trying to have a coup. Come on,
insurrection, whatever you want to call it.
It wasn't trying to have a coup.
It's more like a riot and a party.
Yeah.
But
It is definitely.
You go in with guns to party. You go with guns to party at the Capitol and kick in the windows. That's a good time, right?
Who had guns?
Who had guns?
Guns.
I think that we're forgetting that people are now like at the point of experiencing fatigue when it comes to news, right? Like people are tired when it comes to seeing like news coverage on social media, online, on the TV. Some people just turn it off because there's so much information going around that they can't verify what's right and what's wrong. And people don't have, like I said, they don't have the resources, or even sometimes they don't have the energy or the time to be investigating every single claim, because you're going down a rabbit hole every time you do.
Well, they are rabbit holes, you're right, and I do believe you're right that people are exhausted by it. But at the same time, I mean, being exhausted by the news, like, then maybe we need to stand up in some way against the news and let them know, like, listen, we want you to go back to the way it used to be. You shouldn't need the government to tell you to be honest. You shouldn't need the government to tell you equal time for both sides. You shouldn't need government to tell you that. We'd like you to do it on your own. But to say that
it's like 8 sides now. There are 8 sides.
Right, I know. Okay,
different angles of a story, and you don't know which one is the most correct.
Right, but do we trust that the government is gonna just sit there and say, okay, well, Russia said this and that's a lie, and not take it to extreme measures, using it for political gain or anything like that? Do we trust the government's not going to do that? Because I'm sorry, like, I don't believe in conspiracy theory. I definitely don't believe in QAnon crap. But I don't trust the government on left or right. They made COVID political. They've made abortion political. Everything is politics. They don't care whether you get an abortion or not. They care whether you're going to vote for them or not, and they'll say what they have to say to get that vote. They make everything political. So how are they not going to end up using this as a political weapon?
Well, while you are correct that they don't care, Democrats or Republican, about these issues, you are right that they just want to get your vote, and they'll say whatever it is that riles up their base, right? But again, the solutions that we currently have are not enough to combat the amount of misinformation that we have. So it has to be some kind of body that looks at all of this information, and like Star was reading through it, it doesn't say anything about QAnon, doesn't say anything about COVID. As far as it shows, it's public health. It's about like disaster relief.
You guys think we should get the Jews out of the media?
Okay.
Would that help?
I don't think that would have any bearing on anything. That's so fucking
Thank you,
gross.
Sproticus. I appreciate
Alexa,
that.
can you give me another righty?
I think Big Tech, his idea of what the Jews are is very, very broad. So, you know.
Again, that's an example of why we need some kind of organized body like this to combat this kind of shit.
Yeah, sorry, Sproticus.
No, it's okay. I don't appreciate people who try to get my channel banned. So, continue having the conversation. I'm gonna see if I can't get another righty. As a matter of fact, I think CTV is watching this. I saw it in my chat earlier. So CTV, if you want in, hop in the waiting room.
Fuck that motherfucker.
What did he do while I was gone?
Fuck that motherfucker.
I left for 2 seconds.
He was talking
Fucking
about
piece
your
of
hairdo.
shit, motherfucker.
Yeah, Jay posted.
Ay.
Listen,
I think everybody who has a
my
Kobe
issue
profile
is-
should be in jail.
My issue is our government can't handle what they're already doing. and I'm
You know,
going to
it's
add
so
more on.
strange. It's so strange that
Tech.
I've
His
become
name's
so
Big Tech.
desensitized to like this stuff. Like for Sprouticus,
A
he just
fucking
knows
douchebag,
you gotta kick this
motherfucking
person.
piece of
But
shit.
for me, like I'm just sitting there like, this is
Fucking
another
bullshit,
Tuesday.
dude.
Holy crap! Like another piece of like what is going on? I think I've gotten too desensitized. to this
I'm
stuff.
caught off guard by it because my community is such wholesome, kind, respectful people from left and right. A couple of them even were self-proclaimed communists, and they're all respectful. They're nice. They don't try to get me banned.
All right. Keep going. Yeah. So we're gonna keep going with the topic of the disinformation board at the DHS. And while I try to find another person to fill in.
Can't take him anywhere. I was gone for 2 seconds, I swear.
Yeah. When Cozy sends their people, they're not sending their best folks.
Hey, I'm a cozier. Hey.
Yeah, you should do something about that, Britt. You're at least
I
like
will
able to
talk
be
him about
rehabilitated.
this. You know, we're gonna have a long talk about So he did a little JQing, is that what happened?
Yeah, he did a little
Yeah.
J posting.
A little bit
Just
of
a little
JQ.
bit, just a little bit.
A little JQ.
You guys think we should get blank out of the blank? And like that?
Oh no.
Oh god.
I mean, he was doing slave labor memes earlier. I mean, that probably should have been the indication to kick, but you know, host discretion.
Look, man, it's hard to tell when you hear like bullshit all the time. It's hard
Yeah,
to tell
yeah.
now.
And Star, that really sucked. What happened a couple weeks ago? Holy shit.
With Sen Shapiro?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
CTV.
All right.
Hey, what's up,
CTV
buddy?
is now in.
Hey.
Hi, CTV.
CTV. We were talking about the disinformation board at the Department of Homeland Security. If you would like to give your opinion.
Well, I'm just kind of getting into it, so I'll figure out my way.
Okay.
Do we want to close and move to the next one? I
Let's
feel
do
like
it.
we fleshed out like pretty much
Yeah.
all we can get from that topic.
All right.
What is the
We
last
can close
topic?
and go to the next one. I might add in like a little bonus topic if we need it to fill in the rest of the time. But the third topic is, the Biden administration has failed to disavow the doxing of the Supreme Court justices. Do you think Joe Biden and his administration should disavow and tell people to stop doxing Supreme Court justices and to essentially leave their houses and to demonstrate in front of the Supreme Court? So I'm going to start with opening statements with Grimlow. Go ahead.
Yeah. So they already have security. They've just unanimously passed a thing through the Senate to bolster their security. They're public servants. Their information should be known, and they should be. They should have people outside their homes all the time, protesting for the fucked up shit that happens in this country. That's it.
Preacher, your opening statement.
Yeah, I think they should at least come down on people for doxing, especially Supreme Court justices. They're trusted to make some of the most heavy-weighted decisions in this country, and we can't be trying to mob rule stuff by standing outside their homes. But at the same time, like even if I was just a county court judge, I'm making decisions on the people's lives in my community. Damn, I'd be in a much more secure location with some kind of fencing around my property for sure. I wouldn't be living on a regular street. Why they do that, I don't know, especially at the federal level. But yeah, I think they should at least say, hey man, stop being outside their houses. You're in neighborhoods, you're outside houses. Mob rule, no, that I get it, protest, but you're trying to pull mob rule crap to get them to change their mind on the decision. And they're outside the hood, what's his name? Yeah. Who's most likely voted to not overturn?
Lito?
Sorry. No, oh my god, the head judge, Jesus. Anyway, whatever, go ahead.
All right, Stardust, your opening statement.
Yeah. So in 1988, the justices made it okay to protest abortion doctors directly in front of their own homes. They quite literally dissolved laws making protesting at homes illegal. So if they didn't want this to happen, they probably shouldn't have dissolved those laws, making it legal for people to protest on the lawns of abortion doctors. Calling a doxing is kind of like a misrepresentation. The Biden administration does support the right for people to peacefully protest. So, I mean, this just seems kind of like a result of existing laws and existing actions, even by the justices.
All right, Jason, your opening statement.
Yeah, I mean, I don't quite see it as doxing either. I think, these are public servants. Their information's going to end up getting out one way or the other. To that end, people are going to protest, and they're going to protest controversial decisions. It comes with the job. We know that. They took these jobs knowing that this comes with the job. And, now they're just facing the consequences for the decisions they've made. I think as long as it's peaceful and it doesn't get violent, have at it. It's par for the course,
All right, CTV, your opening statement.
I have no idea what we're talking about.
The doxing Supreme Court justices.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all that behavior that we have people going to people's houses is absolutely fucking silly, but it's a par for the course reaction that I would expect out of the left side of shit, considering that Democrat politicians do a really good job of, say, stoking the fire, but then not leading it anywhere, just allowing it to fucking, burn down fucking courthouses and everything else, like we saw, back during the summer of 2020, right? So, what I expect to see, or what I would expect to see, is that the government is going to end up cracking down on these people really, really hard that are showing up to people's houses. And really, it's kind of one of those where, like, if you had the good sense that God gave a dog, right, you'd know that you shouldn't be going and sniffing around in some places, especially around people's private homes whenever it comes to them doing a job. And then when you do, right, you can expect to get smacked. Well, you're about to get smacked. When you do, CTV told you so, right? And I'm going to be laughing because your ass should be trying to do things through the right and the right way about doing things as far as getting involved in government, but not showing up at people's fucking houses. That's the whole reason that we live in a free republic, is so that you can get involved in government and not be showing up at people's houses trying to intimidate them.
Okay. Brittany, your opening statement.
Who's getting doxxed?
The Supreme Court justices, their home addresses were being leaked online.
Haven't those always been public information?
I thought they were public.
The home addresses of Supreme Court justices?
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's been public information, no.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't know about this. It seems like this happens quite often, though, for public figures and people in the federal government, that their home addresses are always leaked or whatever, and people are outside their homes. I don't support that. I'm really, really against doxing in general. I think I don't know, it's kind of a little bit different when you are this kind of public figure, though. But yeah, I don't support people going to people's homes. It's not the way to do it. So we don't even know who the heck leaked all these things, so I don't know why they're going to. Whose home are they going to?
The six conservative Supreme Court justices.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. No. Yeah. I don't support that at all. I don't support going to people's homes for any of this shit. It's creepy. So, yeah.
All right. The floor is open. Who would like to start us off with open floor? Okay.
Can I start?
I see Grimlow. So Grimlow. I'm sorry.
I'm going to be very short, so you can take it after me, Star. These are non-elected, lifetime positions. If we want to hold people accountable for their actions, then we should make this an elected position and put a cap on it. There's no reason that we should still have this. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. I mean, we can have like broader discussions about like the purpose of the Supreme Court and blah 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 and the institutions and jurisprudence, but no, these people have a lifetime appointment. They're not elected. This is the only way that people can express their disdain for the people who are doing this shit. And it is a veiled threat. That is what it is. Like, hey, don't do this shit or shit's gonna pop off. That's it. But welcome to democracy. That's it.
Yeah, I would
Stardust.
say that again. If they wanted this to not happen, they shouldn't have made it legal for people to show up to abortion doctors' homes and threaten them and protest outside their homes. Also, the amount of doctors who provide abortions that have been killed is like there's so many. So I think that like it's kind of hypocritical now for us to be complaining about a Supreme Court justice who has that position for life, having protesters outside their home when they ruled that it was legal for people to do that to abortion doctors.
Turnabout's fair play.
I would say, like, can we say it's not good at all, whether it's an abortion doctor or a justice, to be shown to be doing this at people's homes, especially in light of the recent protests that we've seen that have all turned violent, that have all turned to buildings being burned and lives being taken. What happens when that happens at a justice's home? Do we say, like, their fault? You know,
There's a
like,
difference between a doctor and a
You can
judge.
just shoot. You can just shoot people.
Your lives aren't being taken. Whose lives are being taken? We have seen doctors get shot.
And I'm
while
saying
they're
that's wrong too.
washing their dishes in their kitchen through
and
their
that's
window.
wrong too. I'm saying
And the
it's all wrong.
consequences of this legislation will kill people.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
so fucking wrong, Grimlow. It's ridiculous, right? And
Am
you're
I?
wrong because, like, yeah, like you think that it's okay to show people the show up to justices' houses now, but you wouldn't have been one of the motherfuckers that said that, like, hey, we need to show up to justice house after Plessy versus Ferguson, or maybe you would. Just anytime that somebody
Probably.
disagrees with you, you think that it's okay to show up to their house. That's not why the judiciary is fucking there. The problem is that the left doesn't understand structures of government. Period. You
Yeah,
don't
you got
understand
me.
structure of government. You don't want to understand structures of government. And as soon as somebody starts trying to explain to you the structure of government, you just go, "Oh, my feels," and then guess what? You didn't learn a fucking thing about how the structure of government actually fucking works and why it is that you should bother learning why the judiciary has lifetime appointments, rather than sitting there and bitching about it, saying they need to become elected officials so they can get caught up in the Ponzi scheme that is modern day fucking politics here in America.
Brilliant.
I think the bigger issue here is that besides that Supreme Court, I mean, obviously it's bad that, you know, people are protesting.
The amount of wrong
outside
I
their
just
homes and
heard.
stuff, whatever.
Jesus Christ.
But I think there's an unseen issue here where doctors have been getting shot, have been getting killed in their own homes. So I think that there is a real issue there.
Okay, and like I said, it's all wrong to me. I mean, and shooting and killing a doctor is anybody shooting and killing anybody is wrong. I mean, that's a criminal act right there, and that's wholly different, and probably even worse actually when you're murdering somebody. But at the same time, with our the highest courts of the land, and you got the justices, they should at least have that privacy. And their neighbors, they've got neighbors. They live in a freaking neighborhood.
What about the privacy of the people who's going to be affected by this?
Oh, come on, man. Oh, jeepers Christmas.
No, what about it?
What about it? It's they're having
You're
an
taking away
abortion.
their rights to have a private decision about their reproductive
That's the
life.
same exact
It's not
rationale
about their
that people-
reproductive.
You're using the same rationale that people are saying for murdering like abortion doctors and protesting outside their homes and protesting in their neighborhoods and stuff like that. Like, these are people who are getting killed, and they are providing what they deem as a medical service, a necessary medical procedure. What are we doing for ectopic pregnancies? What are we doing for pregnancies where it's going to hurt the mother, or where the child is going to come out and die anyways? I think that we're glossing over the fact that medical professionals have been targeted for decades.
I'm not glossing over the fact. I've actually agreed with you multiple times that is wrong too. What I'm saying is, I'm not glossing over anything. The topic is about the doxing of the Supreme Court justices, not justices and doctors. If it was about, and I already said, I agree with you. That is wrong. That's wholly wrong. But just as that is wrong, this is wrong. Listen, you cannot use mob rule for everything. There's a reason why we have a court system. There's a reason why we have a Supreme Court. And it's not because we're going to go out and scream our little heads off outside someone's home and hope that they're going to change their mind. That's bullshit.
You're stuffing through. They stuffed through 3 fucking activist judges They fucking robbed Obama of a pick. They robbed Biden of a pick in order to get their fucking picks. So then they get their fucking picks so that they can overturn Roe v. Wade, which is what they've been positioning for a long fucking time. Okay, so you know what? They knew what they were going to stoke. They knew the fires they were going to stoke. Now you've got fucking justices who have people outside their house and they're pissed about it. Of course they're fucking pissed about it. This was standing precedent. It's not very often that standing precedent
understand that this is Trump's fault too. It's all Trump's fault too.
I didn't say it was just Trump's fault. I think it's McConnell's fault. If you want to ask me, I also think it's the Dems' fault for not getting RGB out sooner.
Can I come out with a unique idea? How about we blame the jackasses outside their house that are acting like morons protesting in a private neighborhood? It's not their fault for being jackasses that they couldn't go to the Supreme Court and do it, that they actually have to do it in a private neighborhood. Go to the Supreme Court and be public about it. And then you got the other idiots showing up inside churches. Like, come on, where do we stop with this crap?
I understand if there's a quote out there from like a famous person about white moderates wanting people to not protest a certain way.
Oh my God, Jesus.
I know.
Fear the
it really
white
sucks.
moderate.
I wonder
Really
if there's
sucks.
a quote. What if there's a quote out there? Listen, I'm not saying whether you can protest a certain way or not. I'm saying just because you
You're
can
just
doesn't
saying
mean you
don't
should.
protest that way.
I'm saying just because you can doesn't mean you should. Have a little bit of class. How about a little bit of dignity and self-respect?
Yeah,
A little self-respect.
There's no protesting in individual neighborhoods. That's not how that works, right? If you want
Sure
to
there
protest the government, you do it on government property.
So wait,
Sure
are
there
you?
are.
So you're
Well,
not
there's
allowed.
protests happen
in neighborhoods
are you not
all the
allowed
time.
to protest on private? Yeah, I would assume you wouldn't be allowed to protest on private property. That seems like.
A road is not private property.
Yeah, they stay
It's-
as
it's
long as
actually-
they stay alone.
Unless the road is privately owned.
Here's the reality of the situation. It's still the property of the city in which it resides, right?
Yeah,
Right?
which
In the
represents
city-
the people
hold on,
that are
hold on,
protesting.
Slow down, right? And the city, right? That means that all of the people of this collective community, all these people that are coming into this community are not part of that community.
And
Yeah.
you
That's
get
right.
permits,
There's the fucking
too.
problem, which is why you should specifically go to the government building because you're protesting government. Otherwise, all you're doing is being a nuisance, just like all you dumb son bitches that decided to jump out on the highway was a good fucking idea, right? That's a dumb
That bitch
fucking
when you get
idea.
hit by a car.
Yeah, don't you have to get permits usually to protest certain things?
For if you're
Yeah.
walking through like cities, you have to get a
Why-
parade permit.
A parade permit? No, but like there's
parade
there's
permits.
certain things that you have to
Yeah,
get. Like, a
yeah.
permit in
Usually, if you're
general.
going to be in a, you
So-
usually have to get a permit if you're going to be doing it in a park or anywhere in Washington D.C.
Yeah.
than what they want.
Because you're coordinating with the police when you do that stuff.
Yeah, that's more of a security thing.
But people's homes is cool.
Evidently,
Supreme Court justices, yeah.
but
Yeah,
it wasn't cool
I
when it was
agree.
Nancy Pelosi's house. That was not
That's
cool.
she's
that's
on
totally
she's
cool.
she's
Fuck
on
that
par
bitch.
too. You want to go protest
She
at
can
fucking
get some.
Nancy Pelosi's house? I'll go with you. Let's go together. We can go
I'm cool. I
together
stay
to
out of
Nancy
public- private
Pelosi's house.
neighborhoods.
Where were you motherfuckers at whenever somebody put a cow head on her fucking garage?
I was talking about how it was funny on Twitter.
Oh yeah, they did designs in blood and everything.
Yeah.
On Nancy
And I
Pelosi.
was against that shit too. I don't like fucking Nancy
took a
Pelosi.
shit
I
in
think
her
it's
driveway. It
hilarious
was crazy.
when you're showing up to her house doing dumb shit.
Yeah,
know?
I know it's a shock to hear this happen to Nancy Pelosi because she's such a saint and the people are her fans.
I don't think you're
Yeah,
gonna find
that-
anyone in this Discord call who's a fan of Nancy Pelosi.
I mean,
No, I still
I'm
wouldn't.
not a fan.
But at the same time, I still would
I
say.
actually don't mind
that's-
her. I think, yeah.
Listen, I
don't
like
mind her.
that's listen. The whole reason I was pissed off at mask regulations, it stopped me from seeing her dentures moving around while she was talking. That was my entertainment right there.
It
But
is
listen,
weird.
even
She
at
needs some
that,
dental lock.
but even at that, I'm against even what happened at her house. That shouldn't have happened to her. Listen, I buck against government as much as I can, but they still have families, they still have children, they still have neighbors. And we have to respect that. If you have an issue with government, go to the government, not go to their house at night, because now you're just looking like a bunch of intimidating bullies, which I thought the left was against bullying, but this is exactly what it is, an attempt to bully them and to change their mind. So evidently, we're only against bullying in certain issues.
Yeah, I think bullying politicians is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
it's base.
I think that bullying is bad when it results in like the death of people. You know.
Yeah,
So-
no, I don't agree with that. No.
Well, fortunately, it hasn't happened yet in this.
But I think to strongly and forcefully voice your opinion in inconvenient places and situations for those people that have to hear it, because sometimes that's the only way it gets through to them, is perfectly acceptable.
Isn't that what happened on January 6th?
No.
No.
What- wait,
that's
what?
Not what happened.
They weren't just
Right.
going into a place and
We're
making
not
people
talking about causing damage to public property. What you're talking
We can talk about
is-
Jan 6 sometime if you want, but let's try and stay on this one.
All right. I mean, I thought we were talking about voicing your opinion in a way that's uncomfortable. And I mean, AOC said if you're gonna, the whole purpose to a protest is to make people uncomfortable. I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I was perfectly fine with the protesters and what they did with Kirsten Sinema. I had no issue with that.
I think
No.
that's wrong too. I thought that was wrong. Going up to her on a
Because
plane
she's
in the
not
bathroom,
talking
come
because
on.
she's not talking to any of her constituents. Not a single one of
fuck
them on a normal level. I know I'm in Arizona. I get her fucking emails. I campaigned for her. I did.
Well, if you get her emails,
because
then
she
she's
was better
talking
than
to you.
Martha McSally, so I had two choices. But
Okay, I'm a
same
little
way.
confused
Like,
here.
you know,
What is this pussy lib shit where people are like, oh my god, you shouldn't be going to people's homes, but at the same time, you guys in the same breath will say, I hate the government, none of these people care, they're all a bunch of like bureaucrats who are bought and paid for. Where's your fucking rage? Where's your outrage towards these people? Why are we being a bunch of pussies and saying, no, we shouldn't be
It's not
angry
being
at these
pussies.
people? We
You know,
shouldn't
I take
express our anger.
offense to you calling it pussy lib shit. All right. I don't
okay.
appreciate that.
Okay.
Why?
Is it the pussy, the lib, or the shit that you take offense to?
All three.
Yes.
Oh, all three is a combination.
Okay, shit lib.
Wow.
go.
What the fuck?
Listen, I have rage about the government, not this decision, obviously, but I
Are you
do
a
have.
libertarian?
so when are you going to rage against the
We
machine
know.
with me?
If Rage Against the Machine could just be here today. Anyway.
Fuck you. I won't do what you tell me.
I'm so hungry.
There you go.
Listen, I rage against the government. but, hey,
There's a
there's
good
a time and place.
anarcho-socialist for you right there.
There's a time and place for everything, and I could get in trouble for this, I'm sure. But it's like a 400-pound woman in yoga pants. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And it's the same thing with being in neighborhoods protesting. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Have a little bit of tact, because honestly, they're making more people look at them like they're asses than they are drawing anything to their cause. I mean, more
I would
people
direct people to listen to James Baldwin and ask, how long do we have to wait? Anybody?
James, what the hell James Baldwin got to do with this?
How long do we have to wait?
wait for what? What are we waiting for?
Freedom?
Wait for the issue to go back to the states where it's supposed to be?
Oh,
Waiting
here we
for
go.
the
Are we going to
federal government
states'
be
rights our
reduced
way
in
out of rights
size
again?
So that we can get back to the states having their own sovereignty?
Yeah,
like it's
that's right,
supposed
brother.
to?
We're going to states' rights our way
I
out
just
of
wanna
rights
say
once
that
again,
I-
brother. Let's go.
I
Things
support
that
Let's
the
we
right
do
have
it,
of
brother.
every
You-
400
include
pound
other
woman
nations
to
as
wear
I
a
part
cannot
of
hear
this
anybody.
union. Like, there's a whole lot of reasons why we need to reduce this size, right? Because there's no way for us to continue to expand, right, the United States sphere of influence until we start taking our own government structure actually serious. Nobody
Whoa,
would
that's
want to
crazy.
join
Maybe
this
we
system.
don't expand. Whoa, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
That is,
that's a
you
wild
know what?
idea, right?
Absolutely, because nobody, including yourself on the left, is over there fucking sending Nancy Pelosi and every other motherfucking Democrat that they can think of, and some fucking Republicans too, to continue supporting this shit over in fucking Ukraine. Fact of the matter is that they got billions of dollars in aid going over there for them, but then what's happening to us over here? Their priorities is all fucked up, and you want to
Yeah,
sit here
so
and
we should be
question
protesting
me.
in every elected
Absolutely.
representative's
I'm
front
with you,
yard,
CTV.
telling them to
Let's
knock it
go.
off. I'm right there with
Let's
you,
go,
CTV.
CTV.
Let's go,
You're
dude.
speaking the
Yes,
language.
I
Let's
love to hear
go.
it.
You're putting in your foot in the fucking water.
Dip,
and
dip,
jump
dip,
in. Let's go.
Come on, get out.
Did
Did that.
Stardust,
hear
you were
that last
saying
part.
something and you got cut off. What were you saying, Stardust?
I was just saying.
Oh,
that
you're so
I-
nice to Stardust, and you were just like crushing every little thing I said. Oh, everybody shut up so Stardust can talk. But me, I talk and you're like, no, Stardust time, okay? I see what you're doing, Zach, and I don't appreciate it. All right?
You know what, Brittany? Why don't you take my time?
No, it's all yours. Because I didn't have anything to
That's
say
okay.
other than to
You can-
come at Zach for because what I see was
You
happening.
can take my time. You can
No.
All right, Stardust, go ahead.
Well, since you were protesting so hard, I feel like I
I
should
was
give you my time.
protesting Zach's moderating biases that are happening and we're seeing in 4K. We all see it, Zach. We all-
Sexist
Alright.
and racist against gingers.
Stardust, go ahead.
Okay, I was just saying that I support the right of every 400-pound woman to wear yoga pants if she wants. It's her body, it's her right. She can do what she wants with it. She can wear yoga pants. She can wear booty suit if she wants. I may not particularly like it, but you know what? She has a right to that. So.
Well, that's why I said she has that right. But, sometimes just because you have the right doesn't mean you should. Or don't get mad at me if I see it and I'm like, damn. But then again, they're probably saying that about me when I show up at Walmart in my shorty shorts and my tube top. And I'm like, yeah, I got this shit together. So I get dams, but I've got that when I put those clothes on. By the way, I look awesome in shorty shorts. I'm just saying. I say juicy right across the backside, too. Mm-hmm.
Slay King,
I'm doing my
you
own
let your
effects
freak
smash.
flag fly.
Yeah.
Don't go change it for nobody.
Agreed.
Can I make CTV
Keep the love out. Keep the love
What
alive.
happened?
I'm about to be my own righty here in a second.
Right.
What happened? Was this something I said?
CTV dropped.
I think Discord's having issues because I dropped earlier too.
Yeah, it's always funky for me.
He's back live, so he should be.
How did we get on the yoga pants thing? I think
Because
lost
I made
the
a
plot.
comment earlier comparing to protesting in the streets. I said I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but that's a saying I always use. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And you're right, Stardust. They do have that right, and I don't judge them. Sometimes I say, damn, you know what? Good for you, girl. Good for you. Don't let people shame you. Good for you.
So true.
It is. I mean, let's be honest. I know you can't tell from this view that I'm really not a sex symbol. I've got a pregnant belly.
You shut your mouth.
Hey, man, I know what I am.
Right.
I'm for real about it.
Hey,
I-
if you love
I don't
yourself,
know if
everybody
CTV's
else will
coming
love
back. I have another righty that wants to jump in. I don't have.
Why did he leave?
I don't know.
I was
Honestly,
talking about me in shorty shorts.
Who's the
Jump
other
in.
righty?
Nacho, jump in,
You're right. I love
guys.
this.
Nacho
We
a
have
righty?
we have fucking rotating righties in the show. Okay, all right.
Wait,
so,
did you just call
Righties.
Nacho
They're
a righty?
righties, you guys.
Be careful if it's another cozy person, man. They're fucking
Hey,
quick
No,
with
he's
that
not
trigger.
a cozy person. Don't worry
Wow.
about
not a
it.
cozy
not.
person.
There's a
Nacho,
lot
jump
of
in.
cozy hate going on. I think we should go back to the ginger hate. I think that was a better idea.
It's fucked up.
I-
My people have suffered enough.
We'll
Hey,
see.
I've got red in my beard. I might be
So
considered a day walker, so I'm with the gingers on this one.
Oh, no.
There we go. Nacho's
All
in.
anti- Hey, Nacho.
What up, Nacho?
Nacho, Zach called you a righty.
Something else.
Well, American Nacho said he had something to say.
Good.
He said somebody was an idiot. So, I want to let him take the floor
Yes. Take it. Nacho?
if his audio will work. What the fuck is happening?
Marco?
They blame you, Zach, because you are a biased mod, so obviously his mic is not
Okay,
working.
mic check, mic check.
There
Hello,
we go.
hello,
I
hello.
was in the
There we
middle
go.
of
Whoa,
shaming
wow.
Zach. What are you doing?
Technical
He's
difficulties.
got a beautiful voice.
Hold on. Let me get my camera on. I've been playing basketball all day, okay? So don't make fun of my disheveled appearance.
I've been
Okay.
remodeling my house. So I
Ah!
look like fresh, too.
Kidding.
Wait, can I just say real quick? Whoever banned me, whichever mod banned me in Stardust chat or time me out, okay?
You too.
Yeah.
I've been in a lot of
Time
messages
to go.
about that as well. Stardust,
me
your
and Star-
mods are
Me and
very.
Stardust go way back, okay? It was a joke. I said,
What did you
whenever you
say?
made the comment about yoga pants, I said, yes, base. And then I was like, keep Stardust out of yoga pants.
Wow.
But obviously, they don't know
Your
we go way
mods
back,
are
so-
very
I think
1984-esque.
I think they probably timed you out.
Insta-booted
There's
me.
no way that they would. There's no way that they would ban you for that.
Yeah, get it
Free
together.
nacho. Free nacho.
So Nacho, you had something to say?
Yeah, I was listening a little bit. I think that whoever was taking the position of like being pro, like let's go to everybody's house. I think that a lot of people just like to say this shit online for like clout and for like clicks because it's the fun thing to do. But the majority of the people that say any of this shit have never stepped a foot inside of their local offices or have ever even written a letter to any of their politicians. 99% of the fucking time, they just sit behind a fucking screen and say dumb shit. And they encourage
Nacho.
other people to go out
Nacho,
and,
that's
and commit
not
acts like
true.
that, so.
That's not true.
Yeah,
I absolutely have been
welcome to Twitch
very
politics,
active
okay?
in my local politics. I've been very active in my local politics.
Yeah, you're part of
It's
the
97% of the time.
1%, okay?
And I guarantee
You're part of the
Grimlow has
1%.
too on some facet
I
level.
doubt it. Yeah, I just think it's
Henry
stupid.
says that he's
overall.
banned from your chat too, Stardust, and he says it's because he's black. He's very upset about the racism. in
There's
your
lots of
mod.
people banned in
I'm gonna have to
Stardust's
reset
chat.
this.
I've never been
Who's-
banned in Stardust's
I'm
chat.
sorry, but
I don't know.
But who was banned?
Kenryo. He said he's very upset
Oh,
that your
Kenryo?
mods were racist and banned him because he was black. Word for word, that's what he said.
I don't know if that was what was you know, I after getting hate rated for like a week and a half straight, I think my mods
on high alert.
just well they're a little bit on high alert, yeah, so you know.
All right.
Maybe take that up with the people that hate rated, maybe.
So, due
Good
to
idea.
technical difficulties and so much confusion during this, I'm gonna go ahead and have us all give shout outs. We can still stay in here, we can still talk, do just like a VC
Yes, talk
thing.
about something
But I think
else, like-
I think that's the best way moving forward. So, Grimlow, go ahead and give your shout out.
Yeah, I'm Gremlow on Twitch, Gremloe. I'm live on Twitch every day at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. News, politics, reacts, I'm a lefty. So yeah, come check me out.
Preacher.
Yeah, Preacher 570 here on Twitch. I do politics. I do variety, politics, history, current events, whatever. Sundays I do my ministry stream. I am not your typical minister. I came to the ministry by dragging my life through the gutter first. So I am more of a minister for the guy in the back room of the bar, not so much the CEO, though I would talk to him if he asked me to. But yeah, Preacher 570 here on Twitch, and that's pretty much all I do. I just have fun on Twitter.
Stardust.
Hi, I'm Stardust. You'll find me live on Twitch and on YouTube. Every Sunday I do a show called Supernova where something incredibly crazy usually happens. Also, come check me out. I have a very booked schedule this week, so we'll see how it goes. So.
Nacho.
Yeah, I'm American Nacho. You can find me on Twitch gaming. I think I'm hanging up the politics at least on my channel, but you'll see me make appearances on other people's channels to chat. So if I do any politics, it'll probably be on other people's channels. But if you want to just
CTV.
chill and all come together over video games, you can come hang out.
CTV.
Hello, everybody. I am critically thinking veteran. I facilitate the Infinity Acre Wood. We have a lot of fun. We talk about all kinds of stuff. Lots of veterans, military veterans in the community. And I am extremely chaotic in the things that I do sometimes. So, if you like chaos and respectful conversation, most of the time, come over and talk to me. If you're looking for a good time, definitely come talk to me because I know about a good time.
Jason Society.
Hey, what's up? I'm Jason Society, Jason_Society on Twitch, Jason Society all one word on Twitter. I am the host of Stonercast on Sundays from 5 p.m. 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We talk about all things weed. My regular daily stream is a blend of cannabis, politics, and music, and total chill sesh. Sometimes I get some streamers that pop in and say what's up. Otherwise, yeah, that's me. Hop over and take a listen and take a watch.
And last but not least, Brittany.
Hey. Yeah, okay, so I am on Twitch right now at Provoked Brittany. We got rid of our politically provoked Twitch, so it is just going to be like content that I do over on Twitch. But our show is on cozy.tv, politically provoked /politically provoked, and on Odyssey at politically provoked. We also have DLive. We got lots of spicy debates that are not very Twitch friendly, so you have to come over there to do it. Also, if you do make a cozy, you gotta have a Telegram and link it, and it's totally worth it because you'll get updates and it is a good time, and there isn't all this annoying to you. So I recommend everybody following us at cozy.tv /politically provoked.
Don't follow her
And
ever.
I want to thank you all for coming on the American Octagon. I do want to assure you this is not what usually happens on an Octagon. Today has been very peculiar. So I probably will be sending you guys invites for future Octagons moving forward. Yeah, thank you guys very much for coming on. Well, to start off, someone said a JQ, so I had to kick a righty mid-debate. Then a righty came in, and he kept popping back in and out of no fault of his own. And then I let another righty in, and then we had 4 righties versus 3 righties. Usually it's much more uniform. There's a
You did
standard
great,
3v3. I'm sorry.
It's
did
all
great.
good.
Thank you.
I mean, he was all right.
Yeah,
he was all
It
right.
was still a good
Hey,
conversation.
I wanted to.
Don't
Zach,
pass him
don't
up.
take it so serious.
No, he did good.
I wanted to add in there also. I am a horrible gamer. Also, and at night you can catch me trying to do heists on GTA 5, but I'm horrible. So if you're looking for professional gaming, don't watch me. But if you want to see an idiot just having fun, yeah, come on over and watch me. I'll be, as a matter of fact, after this, I'll probably be going on to do another heist on GTA 5. I suck.
We can debate. I actually do want to have a panel on this at some time about if these like video games make people more violent. I don't
Oh
know
yeah,
if
I go out and beat up everybody after I get off GTA 5.
Been
I have
dropping
no
the people's
no.
elbow.
Yeah, I have no
top
choice.
rope
It's just
every
in me.
night.
Well, like, cause you have those. What was that? What was it? The Christchurch shooter? That it looked like it was like an actual video game.
You know what? I honestly, and I hope you do have that debate, because I do believe, like, especially young kids, they get a hold of these games and they think, you know, especially GTA 5.
For real, Wretched Eel, I'm not even into that
I
shit.
think it's
No
having a-
studies have been done on this, and it's been
I feel
concluded
like it
that
would be
it's
hard
not
to
the
find
case,
people
right?
that are like saying it makes you more violent because like everybody in these circles are all gamers and stuff, and they're gonna,
Yeah, you're on the wrong
they're gonna
platform
be
for
too
that.
quick to like jump on the
You might be able to
It's
make the
okay.
argument.
It's
You
okay.
might be able to make the argument that like it desensitizes you maybe to some
Yeah.
violence or to like committing crimes, but it's kind of hard to even
It's
like
gonna be hard to find somebody
you're-
that says yeah.
I
or
could,
to even study that. I think it would be
I
pretty
could
hard.
see possibly if somebody had certain
like-
mental health issues, like playing certain games may trigger like
Right.
things for them. But
Desensitized.
Proud, thank you, dude.
Kind of makes sense. Yeah.
I'm not here to say which or how or what because I don't know all the studies on that.
I think,
but
I
it
think
seems
that's
like that
all
would be
American
plausible.
media in
you
general
know,
right
like-
now, though.
Yeah, true. Oh fuck yeah.
A lot of gang
Well, then-
violence or like just shootouts, not even gang related, but just like that's all promoted on TV a lot now too. So people just shooting each other. So
And then you have the easy access to guns and stuff here.
Yeah, Sprout, I'm not sure what's going on with the desktop. I think it.
Oh, it's
it might
not
be
you.
one-
I've been pissed ever since Big Tech. So like,
It's so mad. It's okay.
I was. Well,
I'm
I
sorry I
mean, when
missed
you when
that.
you plan a show for a week and then someone brings up the Jewish question and then you have to reprogram the show
Yeah, you live and you learn, man.
mid show, it
You know,
yeah.
it happens. You're in Twitch poll. Somebody's gonna drop a JQ every now and then.
I'm gonna start having a backup for each side.
like I
That
said,
way
Well, I don't
most of
know.
these people just say a bunch of dumb shit.
Probably
They
JQ
just
a little
watch a
bit
bunch
myself.
of they just watch a bunch of YouTube videos and they just fucking dialogue tree down the dumb shit that they've
The
watched.
difference
before.
between the left, is they
True.
just name it differently. They talk about the billionaires and say,
Happens
you
on the
know,
left and the
like,
right.
they're controlling all this stuff, and then they just name them differently. So
You know what I
mean,
like? You know what I like about Grimlow?
Tell
Is I
me.
can go at hard at Grimlow during the show, and he doesn't get out his knickers in a twist about it. It's just like
I love you,
doesn't even
CTV.
move. But
You're like every
Yeah.
you're like every alcoholic I grew up with.
So I'm gonna put you guys down in the locker room real quick. Give me 1 second.
except, dude,
Wow,
I
that's
actually haven't had
mad
anything to drink,
tonight.
and
He's big mad. Oh, we're gonna be gone.
Oh, okay.
Ay, ay,
So
ay.
no, actually, I've always kind of
So
had a
mad.
decent interpersonal relationship with CTV. Decent.
He's so mad. Zach's very mad. Zach, are you okay?
Well, you know,
I'm good.
I understand. I understand.
I'm just
Yeah.
You know what?
frustrated.
You
Was
know
it really
what?
that bad? I missed
Sproutacus,
him. So sad I missed it.
Sproutacus, nobody is seeing this as a reflection on you. In fact, I
I
thought
am.
it was a very nice show.
Nah,
I thought it
fuck
was
that.
a
Yeah,
very
I'm
nice
just
I'm
show.
worried
judging
about
you.
TOS.
Yeah, I
I'm
thought
worried
it-
about my
I think
channel
you're
at
gonna
this
be
point.
okay. As
Okay.
somebody
No,
who
dude,
has
you-
had
you're
more
good.
No,
content
you
on
booted
their
that dude.
channel.
I
You
call
booted him
the
right away.
I've had-
isolation of Sprout.
Sproutacus, I've had
Yes.
much worse on my channel. You'll survive this. It's good
Yeah.
to be okay.
Yes,
If
she
you feel-
did.
If you feel really
She
like
did.
uneasy about it, just download your VOD and then
And
delete
this is
it.
the end.
And she's partnered,
Okay.
so you're fine.
This is it.
Yeah.
What
It's
you need to
over.
do, Sproutacus, actually, CTV gave me this tip. To put stand-up comedy as one of your tags.
Okay.
Oh,
What do you have
that's
your tag as?
interesting.
You don't have it as politics, do you?
No, I have it as just chatting.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
chatting
just
and
don't
then
stream in
you put
politics.
as a
Yeah.
as a tag you put like stand-up comedy, and then you've got an extra layer of protection. What are they
Yeah.
gonna do?
That's
If you
why I
want to
keep
double
seeing
up
the
on it,
comedy
put
there.
like ADHD in there, and then you can
No,
just say
I
that
have-
you're neurodivergent.
So honestly, I've had ADHD as a tag, but today I just got clinically diagnosed, and I'm actually kind of worried about like taking my meds tomorrow because my meds start tomorrow. I'm on
Eat.
Vive. I'm on Vive.
Vyvanse.
I'm on Vyvanse now, or
Yeah.
I'm gonna be on Vyvanse tomorrow. So
Make sure
I'm
you
actually
eat, man. I was on that in high school. Just make sure you got a lot of like food in your system because you don't want to do that on an empty stomach.
okay.
True, Carpe.
How's,
Yeah, stop stressing.
how are we all feeling about the death of Twitch politics? I'm excited.
I don't
It's
understand
feel
what
pretty
people
bad.
are concerned
I don't think
about. What do
Twitch
you mean,
politics
death
is
of
dying.
Twitch
I think it's
politics?
good.
I
It's
don't
literally
think
just
it's
a
dying. I
giant
think people
echo
are just-
chamber. What do you mean?
People are just being
They just
melodramatic. That's all.
It's
No,
it's
no,
evolving
you
and
can only-
changing.
you can
Anytime
only
something
talk about-
changes, like it's always
Nah.
like, oh, it died. It's not
Well, hang on,
dying. It's
someone
just
explain it to
changing.
me.
There's
What do
anything
people mean by
happening.
dying? Do we mean that like
gives
the
them
lol
content.
cows are gone?
You mean
it
the
means
fucking
that-
the whales that
that
give you content
Dylan-
to fucking hate watch for like 30 days?
Isn't like the point of like
all
streaming
Twitch
in the
politics.
politics section or talking about politics to talk
Yeah, but
about
now
like
you
news
can't-
and current events?
Yeah, but now you can't talk about any of the streamers because they're all banned.
Okay, well that's
So if you
drama
put some
farming. That's
content
not
on-
politics.
That's what Twitch politics is, though.
Yeah, so it's not dying. You'll get more lol cows. You'll get
Dying.
more drama farmers. You'll be
Nah, it's
fine.
fucking dying,
There
and
are
I'm
plenty
excited.
of lol cows coming up. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are gonna have to learn how to play fucking video games, all right?
I'm trying,
Get rid
man.
of the
I'm
rule that if
trying.
somebody's banned from like Twitch, that they can't even appear on another person's stream. I think that's just.
I like it. I'm glad it helps kill Twitch politics. Okay. I'm
No,
ready
you
to
want
go.
Twitch politics to die. Why?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's-
because you don't want to
Politics
do
has always
Twitch.
been,
But so what are you going to be
No,
streaming?
I've
then?
already.
Twitch
I
politics
game.
has always been a very symbiotic.
I started on
community,
Twitch
and I
gaming,
can-
not on.
I
Not
can
doing
see
Twitch
why
politics.
people
Well, they
are
try to
alarmed
make
that
it
they
boring.
can't react to what they previously reacted to. I can understand that because it's always been a very symbiotic community. It's always been very, we share a lot of our viewers with each other and we send them around to each other and stuff like that. So I definitely understand why people are a little bit alarmed, but I don't think it's dying. I think we just got to keep doing what
I
we're
think they'll
doing,
ever
you
let
know?
Destiny
Hey.
back on.
I'm gonna hop off.
Yeah,
You
maybe
guys
in,
all have
like,
a good
2
night. I
months.
have to get going.
I mean, they
I'll
let
check you guys
Vosh
later.
back on.
You think
so.
that soon?
Yeah.
Have a
think
great
we'll
one,
look
Richard.
at it.
At it. I don't think
I
Destiny
think,
would-
I
However
think
long they took with Vosh is probably how long it'll take
So-
with
Well,
this.
no, Bosch, I don't think
So-
he even tried to appeal it until like Destiny got banned.
Well,
That's
here,
crazy.
Wicked Supreme, me, and one other person made bets on like how long it would take for Destiny to get unbanned on Twitch. I think the longest one was like 3 months. The shortest one was
permabanned
like,
when that happened?
was like 30 days. Indefinitely, right? But we're,
Yeah, yeah,
we're
yeah.
still making bets and stuff.
Yeah.
so.
What does it say on his page when you go to it? Indefinitely or
So what it says, okay, this is I've learned this is if you go to somebody's Twitch page and they've been banned or if
Yeah,
they've
there's
been
2 things
suspended,
it
it'll
says,
say
right? Mm-hmm.
temporarily if they're suspended, and it'll say currently if they are permabanned.
Mhm.
So
If you
that's
look it up
the way
on
to-
Twitch, it just won't show up.
Huh? No. You go to the
Oh,
page
okay.
and it'll say like, okay, this page is like currently or temporarily unavailable or something like that. Temporarily and currently are basically the keywords that you need to like look at if they are suspended or they permaban. So
I think
Yeah.
that it'll be a few months, but they'll probably let him back on eventually.
it depends. Well, it depends on even if he asks. It doesn't seem like he's even. Wait, did he? I think he
I
did
think it's
appeal
crazy
it.
that Jadeon's still banned.
He's on Cozy though. I'm waiting for his first Cozy stream. I think he's gonna kill it.
Wait, what? Are we talking about the same person?
Destiny.
Oh wait, who? Destiny? Oh, never mind.
No.
Wait, he
It's
joined
for-
Cozy?
Yeah.
Well,
That's
he's on
hilarious.
Cozy.
He's
gonna
on
use it
Cozy.
to
So is
bait
Haas,
people.
and so is
Hinkle.
Yes, thank you. They are all on Cozy, but they haven't streamed there yet. But I know, like, if Destiny ends up streaming to Cozy, it'll be like when he's in just like a mood to fight with right wingers, and nobody's gonna know about it, and he'll just randomly decide to just stream there and fight.
maybe
with
for like a
people.
panel or something?
It'll
You think
just
he'll say
no,
that-
it'll
you think
no,
he'll
it'll
say
just
the
be
N-word
like
on there?
random. Like he's not gonna tell anybody. He's just gonna kind of pop in, and nobody's gonna freaking know about it, and he'll just start kind of fighting with the chat or something. That's how.
What's
I've
the
seen his,
over
like,
under on
Cozy
a
stream.
heated gamer moment when he goes to Cozy?
I think it's gonna be so fun. Like, I'm really excited to see it. I think his view count is gonna go like through the roof.
Yeah, he's gonna get all 50
Is
people on
Cozy
Cozy
really
to come
popping
watch.
like that? Is there like people over there?
Yeah. The thing that's cool about Cozy is it has so basically all the people there, they don't really like venture out of Cozy too often. So it's like they're just kind of looking for content, and because it's like an invite only platform, they are going to get the content they want to see. So you'll have like streamers stream into it and they get
Like an echo
alerted
chamber?
when- Huh?
It was kind of echo chambery.
No, because we're on there. Ethan Ralph's on there. Destiny, like they have certain people on there. You have to have like an audience basically if you want to get on there. You have to bring something to the table, which is a smart way to build a platform, I think. Rather than just kind of like leaving it open to everybody, and then the content kind of like whittles out. So
yeah, but the runway for something like that is very limited.
What do you mean by that?
If it's invite only, then you're going to be only catering to a smaller and smaller audience. So the scalability of something like that, eventually, inshallah, that Cozy just dies, right?
But to start it out, it's a really smart idea, actually.
If each streamer that you bring on, like, so you have like your audience or whatever, you have your core audience. And Nick has a massive core audience, but you start bringing somebody like Destiny, and he has his audience, and he kind of comes over and builds that and has their audience. And you find another big streamer, and they have their audience, and you bring that, and you're only bringing streamers with audiences that are coming to this platform. You're building in a way that like you're bringing their active viewers and everybody that's there. It might be smaller community, but the user base is very active, and It's doing really well in my opinion. Like I think it's the best alt platform I've seen of any, and I've been kicked off of YouTube, so I had to look around.
I think most people who have a Cozy account should probably be in jail.
Yeah, it is.
It's a smart way to start
it might be open. It
I
might
agree.
end up like down
Or
the
at
road
least under
getting open to
investigation,
everybody,
for
but
sure.
for now, it's a good way to start it for sure. And it's very user friendly. It's like looks like Twitch. You got like stickers. You've got the push notifications. It's really well done. I'm really impressed with it for sure. Yeah. All I gotta say about that.
Yeah, I don't think Cozy's gonna last. I'm gonna be honest.
I do.
It's too many Nazis.
They're not.
Strong Groiper following.
I'm
They're
sorry.
not Nazis. I know a lot of Nazis.
Vincent
They are not
James
Nazis.
is a Nazi. Come on.
Was who started that platform? Because it was my understanding that it was basically like
It was started by Fuentes, who is a
Yeah,
Nazi.
sorry.
That's what I thought.
Though.
Yes, he
So it was
is.
my understanding that it was
not.
literally
He's a
just for Nick
Nazi.
and his
He's a
followers. I had no idea.
paleo-conservative.
It's same shit,
No,
different
it's
spice.
not.
Oh,
Listen,
man.
if I would listen,
I love the
I would have had
intellectualization
to
we've created
disconnect
for
Nick.
Nazi.
If Nick was on this panel, even if I didn't know who Nick was, yeah, I would have had to disconnect him.
Yeah, he wouldn't be allowed to because he's been banned off of Twitch. But
Yeah, I wonder why.
wow, we're doing this, aren't we?
I mean,
Yeah, I'm still wondering why Destiny got banned. Still wondering.
I would
Yeah,
like to know.
yeah, they don't tell you.
Everybody
They don't
else
tell
is,
you.
too.
It's just so stupid.
Still wondering.
At least make your rules on your platforms very, very specific. Like if you have like certain words that you're not allowed to say, list those words out, because if people know exactly what they can and cannot do, you're gonna have a much better chance of people not breaking them. Nobody's trying to get kicked off of these platforms. They don't want to. But like when the rules are so vague and like they can be subjective, it's like they're basically giving themselves that room where it's like, all right, well, bullying is a rule, so you did this and we'll call that bullying, and now you're kicked off. I think that's stupid. Like, make your rules specific and people will, I guarantee you, follow them a lot better.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, transparency. That's always good.
I think so.
No, it's not.
That
Transparency
makes
is
it too
not
hard. It
always
makes it
good.
too hard for all those moderators to abuse their powers, though. You know what I mean?
Transparency is not always good.
Yeah,
Not
you're
always.
probably right. I mean, like, if you were transparent right now, I would probably see your Biden-Harris poster behind you, so that's probably not good. Wow. I'm just kidding. I'm picking it.
I feel like transparency when it comes to moderation is always good.
I'm sorry, that was a terrible joke.
If you're moderating, transparency is always a good thing to have when you're moderating.
I gotta go, you guys. I might come stream
Yeah,
again
I have to
later.
pee really bad, and I'm gonna.
Yeah,
it's
now
like
that the
not
pretty
my normal
girl's
streaming
leaving, I'm
hours.
leaving.
Yeah.
All right, I guess
All right,
everyone's
guys.
leaving.
Sproutacus, I'm super excited to have you on the show
but I want
next
to watch
week.
Nick talk
I'm
about
excited for it too, Grimlow. I hope I can have you on in a future
Study
Octagon.
your American history. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay.
Okay. All right. Sounds
All right.
good.
I'll see you guys later.
See ya.
Take it easy.
See you guys.
And I'll be popping off myself. I hope you all
Another
enjoy
panel?
your evening.
Is there?
Is there what?
I have to.
I don't know. Somebody said something about another panel.
I don't
No,
know.
I'm
My
game
chat's
show on
talking.
Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Take care.